Good afternoon, Detroit. I'm Bree Teamer, and we finally made it to Friday.
Woo-hoo!
Tom and I are super excited that we're here. It's May 30th, and we're live from our Fox 2 Detroit studios. You're watching Fox 2 Detroit Live.
Live from the Fox 2 newsroom, this is Fox 2 Detroit.
Well, it's the weekend, and racing fans have been waiting for this very moment. We actually have live pictures of the Grand Prix. It's kicking off today and running through Sunday. Here is a very live look over at all the action happening right now in the city. And we say that it's very live because you can see the cars just zooming on by, coming down the racetrack way. You know, that's the pit, that big thing right there, that big lane to the left with that blue stripe down the middle. That is the pit. Unfortunately, they won't be racing there, but right over there where you see all those other cars coming down the street, that's where all the action is going to be taking place. You can already see there's some spectators in the stands right now, enjoying this beautiful day that we're experiencing, 72 degrees. Now, this event is expected to draw more than 150,000 people downtown. Now, that includes our Ryan Armani and Dina Santafanti, who are taking in the sights and energy of day one.
We are in downtown Detroit. Ryan Armani, Dina Santafanti, the Detroit Grand Prix. Dina, how you feeling? Did you feel the vibration of the cars going by?
I find the sound and the look, of course, because we just up on Jefferson, the cars are going, they're going about 140,
Yeah.
We're thinking. So.
And it's not even a Friday night.
Yeah. Hearing it and seeing it makes, like, I feel my heart racing, which is good. That's the response. There's not many things in this world that can trigger that kind of immediate physical response.
And
right?
There's not many things in this world, too. Jim, let's get a shot of the boats going by. Look, I mean, how cool is that, right? You're just kind of on a racetrack, and then a couple of feet away, you've got boats going by. This is a scene, Dina, that not too many cities can offer an entire circuit.
Well, it's the best of both worlds, really, because as we sit here, I mean, it's just serene. The water's a little choppy, but it's this beautiful,
It's
we're
okay
looking
for
at
May,
Windsor,
right?
hey, Windsor. And then just a couple blocks that way, you got race cars going 140 miles an hour. It's an incredible thing, and it's part of what makes our city special. And this riverfront development, the Riverwalk as it's called now, this wasn't here not that long ago. You couldn't enjoy this part of the city like you can now.
No doubt. And, for so many years, the Detroit Grand Prix was over on Belle Isle. This is the third year it's back on the streets of downtown. So year one of any race, there are going to be some hiccups, and there were. Year two was a lot better. And year three, we feel like it's going to be a bit of a home run.
You think so?
I do. They've worked out all the kinks.
Well, when we know from watching Indy 500, even if you're not a huge race fan, nothing goes perfect. I mean,
Right.
that's why you watch.
There was a car that wrecked on the pace lap.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is a super, an unpredictable sport, and adding this city track makes it even more unpredictable.
So let me tell you, 3 p.m. today, you have an opportunity. That's when the IndyCar drivers come out for practice. 9 a.m. Saturday they will practice, and then everything gets going really early on Sunday with Indy next at 10:30. That race happens, and then the IndyCar series happens. The Detroit Grand Prix happens after that. So you got a winner? You picking a winner?
Well, no, but what I will say, the winner, and this is going to sound cheesy and cliche, but the winner really is our city, the city of Detroit, the state of Michigan, because hosting this huge event, which is bringing families and grandparents with their grandkids, and fun zones, activities, rooftop viewing, all of that. When you can do that successfully, that's the sign of a world-class city.
You are right. Cheesy and cliche. No, I'm just kidding. We'll send it back to you.
With big events like the Detroit Grand Prix, you can bet there are going to be a lot of dollars attached to it. Fox 2's Tanisha Cordell has a look at the economic impact this is expected to have.
Get ready, set, go. going to be a great day downtown.
The 35th annual Detroit Grand Prix is here.
So we've got 3 great racing series competing all weekend long. We got a lot of fan activities. We got concerts on Saturday.
A roaring weekend for everyone.
I think the energy since we moved back downtown starting in 2023 has just been off the charts. I mean, it's grown every year.
And so has the Grand Prix's impact on Detroit's economy.
This is $78 million of direct impact to our economy, $150 million of indirect. So you think about the bars, the restaurants, the travel, just all the brick and mortar retail stores, they're all touched by an event like this.
And those businesses from each city district are getting in on the action up close.
Go visit Small Business Straightaway. Some of our favorite neighborhood businesses are here along Woodward.
The Straightaway helping Detroit's diverse and minority-owned entrepreneurs drive sales and connect with a global audience.
And millions of people around the world are watching Detroit through an amazingly perfect lens. I mean, this weekend shows Detroit in a way that you just sort of, if you haven't been here, you don't think of.
The speed and thrill, not only entertaining, but also a welcoming gesture to those looking for a new home.
Events like this demonstrate Detroit as not only a welcoming, but an exciting, a dynamic, and a place that's ready to receive you.
Well, if you're coming out to check out the Grand Prix this weekend, you have the opportunity to watch some of the racing for free from at least 6 platforms along East Jefferson. No ticket needed. Again, for free. We've got more details for you online at fox2detroit.com. For now, I'm Tanisha reporting Fox 2 News.
Well, 150,000 people are expected to be down there throughout the entire 3-day event, which of course means safety is a top priority. There will be barricades and fencing surrounding the track. Police officers will be in uniform and undercover. Firefighters will be working crowd control and monitoring air quality.
Fire operations will have 2 engines that will be strategically located on either sides of the track so they can respond accordingly. If necessary, we'll also have our hazmat team will be doing air quality monitoring.
We strongly encourage, we kind of demand that you leave the speeding on the racetrack out here. Again, with the density that we will have of people walking through our streets, slow those vehicles down.
And in addition to slowing down, remember Michigan is a hands-free state, so no using phones or other devices behind the wheel. Officials say no guns or knives are allowed either. And you know what? We really want to make sure that you're covered for the Grand Prix over the next 3 days. So if you're planning to go downtown at all this weekend, there are some traffic notes you're going to want to keep in mind. And Fox 2's Kelly Rowe has that.
The Detroit Grand Prix is finally here, which means road closures. We got to get through them. So, of course, Jefferson is closed right along the riverfront towards that area until June 6th because they'll need to take it down next week. For drivers on 375, they'll have to exit at Lafayette until June 2nd on Monday. But for now, you won't be able to use Jefferson unless you have a pass for that. Also closed is Woodward all the way between Gratiot and Larned. So that's kind of the stretch of things and campus marshes around there. Expect those roads to be closed. Pedestrians can still use them, but Atwater also closed as well. All of that until June 2nd. Again, think of it like the NFL draft. So the Detroit People Mover and Q Line are both free, so you can use those and park far away and kind of shuttle in, as well as a free shuttle service. You'll find that within the venue with stations you can get to, and they'll help you get around with golf carts. Also, Mogo bikes are available. Remember those bikes, they're red. There's 620 of them at 75 stations across Metro Detroit. You can use those to kind of wheel yourself in, and you have an app you can use for those. Speaking of apps, Park Detroit app, you can reserve parking at garages and lots, and you can also use the Find My Car option that offers walking directions back to your vehicle. So a ton of ways to get around. You can find real-time traffic conditions on the way down on our Fox 2 weather app if you need it.
And we'll have much more from the Grand Prix over the next few hours, including live reports from our Lauren Edwards and other race-related events happening in the city. You can also check out our coverage at fox2detroit.com at any point. And be sure to check out the big race on Sunday. It starts at 12:30, and you can watch it right here on Fox 2. Well, a heads up that you may want to be changing your passwords after a massive hack exposed more than 184 million of them. Now, according to a new report from cybersecurity researcher Jeremiah Fowler, the leak affected everything from Apple and Google usernames and passwords to social media logins and bank accounts. A range of Microsoft product logins, Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat were also compromised, along with governmental portals and health service account data. Fowler hasn't confirmed exactly how the data was collected, but he says there was a lot of evidence pointing to the info stealing software. I just realized that I was on the screen the whole time. I hope I wasn't looking crazy. My eyes is going all this way. Anyway, we have more information on that on our website at fox2detroit.com. All right. Detroit police are looking for information after shots were fired in the parking lot of a Martin Luther King High School on East Lafayette. Now, this happened around 8:30 last night. Police say several teens were there at the time, but nobody was hurt. They're now looking to speak to the person of interest. And if you have any information, you can call Detroit Police or Crime Stoppers at 1-800-SPEAK-UP. Well, 5 kittens crying for help after a woman dropped them on the doorstep of a motel in East Point. While they're being cared for by an animal rescue, now investigators are still looking for some answers. East Point Animal Control, thankfully, to find an adult cat that can nurse the babies. But since that mom is nursing other kittens, they're constantly fighting over food. The kittens are doing better, but officials say they still have a pretty long road to go.
Abandoned animals this young that require that much care, they can't fend themselves, they can't do anything, they would have died.
Security video shows the woman banging on a door at the Eastland Motel in East Point Wednesday morning. If you recognize her or happen to know where the mom of the kittens may be, you're asked to give East Point Animal Control a call. Well, Fox 2 Detroit Live is just getting started, and after the break, we'll tell you about the site of a former state psychiatric hospital, but now it'll serve as a home base for local first responders. Interesting. Closer look at the headquarters in Northville up next. Welcome back. You are looking live at Detroit Bayview Yacht Club, Detroit River, I should say, and the Bayview Yacht Club over there to the right. It is looking like a pretty nice day outside. I'm loving every moment of it. Hopefully it sticks around. We'll check in with Derek Kevra, see what's happening out there. But Northville Township is celebrating the opening of its new public safety headquarters. It's located at the site of a former Northville State Psychiatric Hospital on 6 Mile and Sheldon Road. The 65,000 square foot building now houses the police station and a second fire station. The fire chief says it will drastically reduce its response time on the community's east side.
Our goal is to have a travel time to emergencies of less than 6 minutes. With our single fire station, we achieve that about 50% of the time. With the opening the second fire station, we achieve 6 minutes or less 96% of the time. So the improvement in response times is absolutely remarkable. And we've already shaved over a minute off of our average response times in the past 2 weeks of operating out of this station.
This is the first of 4 buildings set to open this year on the new complex. A new Department of Public Works headquarters and Northville Parks and Recreation building will be unveiled this summer. Super cool. I really like to see, I'm not too crazy about psychiatric hospitals being repurposed into things. I feel like that's kind of creepy, but Eloise, the haunted house downtown, they did that, right? They repurposed it into something else. So I really like the fact that we're using buildings that already exist and turning them into something versus like building a completely new building. I'm loving that. All right, Derek Kevra is here. And I will say, my dentist, I was a little disappointed at him because, you know, he's in this building, right?
Yeah.
And he's moving to a new building, and he has like signs up in the lobby and whatnot. And I'm like, are you moving? Like, that's pretty cool. And he was just like, yeah. I was like, oh, did you just buy the building like down the block? And he's just like, no, we're building it from scratch. We're building it from the ground up.
Okay.
And I'm just like, are you kidding me?
Oh,
there's a perfectly nice, in shape building.
Sure. But
right down the street.
Well,
in
so
that same location too.
Okay, we need to dig into this a little bit more here, Bree. You appreciate reduce, reuse, recycle, like
exactly.
Use. Okay.
Yeah, if there's a building that's already there, right? Why not move into that building?
Well,
why build a whole new?
Think about it from this way. Think about all the jobs that are being created to build a new building. There's a lot of tradesmen that are going to work.
Think about the resources that are being wasted.
Well, true, but yeah, there's that. It's hard to argue that. Yeah. But you've got electricians, you've got plumbers, you've got construction workers. I mean, everybody is working to build, and then they're getting.
You can have that same thing if you get renovations.
True. That's true. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to argue. Yeah. Sometimes new is nice. There's nothing wrong with new.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with new because I like new.
Right.
But. I mean, reuse the buildings. I feel like that's such a waste. It's a whole building.
Yeah, it does create a bit of an issue at times, sure. Yeah.
All right, anyway.
Okay, yes, moving on. Let's jump into your Grand Prix forecast here, where things over the course of the weekend, they look pretty good. They look really good, actually, all things considered. When you have the race, you start getting closer to the weekend, you're just like, please don't let it rain on the race day. Please don't let it rain on race day. Well, that's a check. No rain on Sunday, so we got a check right there. And then you're like, okay, well, maybe no rain on the day leading before it, and then we got to check on that. Now, there is a chance we could see some later storms tonight, but most of those storms, most of that activity is going to happen after 6 p.m., 7 p.m., really. It's like 7, 8, 9 p.m. So most of the free day or free pre-day activities will be kind of wrapping up at that point, or at least slowly coming to an end. So the chance of rain looking like it'll affect us a bit less. But what looks like it might affect us a bit more is that smoke. Now, this is the smoke from the California wildfires, and the wind is going to usher it down over the state of Michigan today, creating some air quality concerns. We've been watching this for several days now, and it looks like today is the day where we're going to see reduced air quality because of those smoke particles coming down. We call those particles PM 2.5. That is particulate matter with 2.5 millimeter diameter particulates. So that's going to be moving down today. What all that means is, and this air quality alert is for folks in that moderate to unhealthy for sensitive groups. So if you're in that like sensitive group range. So unhealthy for some, it puts us right smack dab in that orange category right there. And what that means is people with heart-lung disease, older adults and children should probably limit their outdoor activities. So just try to spend more time inside, less time outside. And if you're finding that it's a little bit hard to breathe, especially through the afternoon and evening, give yourself a break, go inside. A lot of times, our homes, we have those filters on our furnaces and things like that, so that air is filtered and it's easier to breathe than that wildfire smoke air coming down. As that wildfire smoke air comes down, as we move through the afternoon and evening, following that is going to come the chance for some showers. So here you go. This is 4:30 p.m. That rain is going to be more in mid-Michigan at this point, but near 6, 7, 8 o'clock, some of those clusters are going to come through. This is 10 p.m., and by that point, most of it's already through, but there's still that opportunity that we could even see a sprinkle close to midnight. Clouds will hang on a little bit early Saturday, but they will give way to more sunshine, and then a sunny Sunday in store for us as all of this moves through. Temperatures today, we're in the 70s right now as we look all across the state. We've got those low 70s taking us over to the western side of the state until you get close to the water where it's more 50s, mid 50s, upper 50s. As warm as 70 up near West Branch, you get up into the UP near the Sioux, you're looking at 52 degrees. Our high today should spike near 75 before falling off beyond that. Those numbers, I think 77 really is not even out of the realm of possibility because the sunshine is going to be poking through, especially early until the clouds arrive, and then that rain arrives after that. Rain tapers off tonight, 52, and then by the end of the 7-day forecast, that summer weather is here. It gives us a bit of a taste of that. You'll see Tuesday, 87, Wednesday, 86. Now, yes, Wednesday, Thursday come with a chance of showers and thunderstorms, but a little taste of that extreme summer heat for those folks that have really been waiting patiently through May, which May has been kind of a chillier month, and so you're going to get a little blast of the heat as we head into June.
Yeah, and I think that we could use a blast of heat just to break it up a little bit.
I kind of agree with you. I don't typically love the real hot, humid weather, but it is nice to get a little taste of it and then a retreat from it back into the 70s.
Yeah, almost 90 degrees. Gotta love that.
Yeah.
Well, Derek, we've been talking about, the Grand Prix, that little race thing that's happening downtown.
We have? We've been talking about that?
But, in China, there was a very different traffic situation that got people talking. Take a look at this. Now, a giant and inflatable corgi breaking free from a parade route this week, taking itself on a leisurely walk through
Look
the
at the
city
size of that
streets.
thing.
I'm just wondering, what's the reason? Why does this exist?
Is it for a parade?
It's China. Yeah.
I mean, a giant corgi, though?
Sure. Well, you know what? If you look at some of our parades, what do we have? We have giant Dogman things and giant Kool-Aid
Giant
Man.
Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man was a thing for a while. Like
Was
the Michelin Man
Wait,
was a thing.
the what? The Stay Puft what?
The Stay Puft Marshmallow Man from Ghostbusters? Yeah.
I wasn't into that. I wasn't into that when I was a kid.
So, but I think all of these things are just by definition kind of zany.
Yeah. I don't know.
Nobody's even trying to.
And you know what?
it, though.
Yeah, and I was just gonna say, where's everybody at? It's just like in the middle of a street here. Like,
Well,
where's the parade? Where are the people?
Has your dog ever gotten out? It takes a second to realize it's gone.
You know what?
And then you chase it down.
Especially when it barely has
Look
any
at the
weight
car
to
stopping.
it. Yeah.
There they are.
Just give him some belly rubs.
Yeah, just scratch that belly. What do you do? But what do you do in that situation? Like, do you cut a hole in it?
Just pop it?
Yeah, you just pop it.
Yeah.
I mean, you think
There's got to be a release valve.
yeah,
okay,
but
if we
you're
were
chasing
curious, no one was hurt. And
I was not curious about
the
that.
runaway.
I'm more curious about how they got it back. Like, because if you lost, what do you grab by the tail? You must have to grab it by the tail.
There's like something happening in the back there.
I'm not sure we want to know what's happening in the back
Yeah,
there.
I mean,
That could
something
be anything.
dangling.
Yeah.
I mean, it's white. It's not brown.
Yeah,
so.
that's fair. That's fair. You grab that sucker by the tail and you hold on for dear life.
Yeah, I mean, at
And
that
then you
point.
ask your boss for a raise.
Is that the strategy?
That's what you do.
So I just got
that's
to
the
find
play.
a way to throw a, what was it? What was
Corgi. It was a corgi.
No, the thing that you guys were talking about. The
Stay Puft Marshmallow Man?
Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Yeah.
Get an inflatable Stay Puft Marshmallow Man and let it go loose in the street and then go
Check
get
out.
it and
Yes.
ask for a raise.
Yeah, that's
Got
right.
it.
You say
Got it.
hazardous work conditions.
I will
That's
do
what you
that.
call it. Yes.
All
Okay.
right. Noted. All right, Derek. I almost called you DK.
That's okay. I can live with that.
Yeah, but I don't like that. All right, well, you may have heard the saying, if you can dream it, you can do it. Coming up, we're talking about the power of manifesting and the different approaches you can take. That's just ahead on Fox 2 Detroit Live. Welcome back to Fox 2 Detroit Live. I'm your host, Bree Teamer. From gas station munchies and the power of manifesting to a showstopper of a wedding. Time to break it all down in the rundown with Ronya. And, Ronya, first, before we get into that, I want to say happy birthday.
Oh, thank you.
Happy birthday to
you.
you. Happy birthday. What are you how are you celebrating life today?
The celebration is just being here, right?
Yeah.
Nothing, no plans. No plans are good plans.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
Spending time with the family.
Yeah.
Food, cake, why not?
Yeah.
And it feels good to be 26.
Well, happy birthday. 26?
Yeah, thanks,
That's younger than
Bree.
me.
You should have just went with it.
I'm the youngest one here, by the way, for anyone curious.
26.
I'm like the youngest person who works
Those were
here.
the days. All right, let's talk about this wedding in Manhattan. This one making headlines all over for this reason. Look at the fun.
I love this remix.
But this whole wedding parade, by the way, Indian wedding called a Bharat, the parade shutting down Wall Street. That's how big this event was. And look at all the people, hundreds of people gathering to watch and just enjoy this happy moment. A Bharat is a Bharat. It's hard to pronounce.
Yeah.
Is a traditional pre-ceremony procession where the groom's family and friends dance their way to the venue with live drums, music, just the whole works. I gotta tell you, when I first read the headline, I said, oh my gosh, shut down Wall Street. That's a little dangerous. What happened here? Then I saw this and I thought, my people do the same thing. Chaldean, Assyrian, Americans, we do the same thing. We bring this thing called dolozerna. It's a drum and a guy on a little I don't know what you
Flute?
call it. Yeah, like a little
looking thing.
Yeah, and we do the same exact thing, and it's fun and just
Yeah.
a good, heartfelt moment.
Yeah, this looks really fun actually, and they're just in the streets,
Yeah.
getting it and dancing it. And I love this remix that they did to this song.
So fun.
I mean, this looks incredible.
All right, let's talk about manifestation. Do you believe in manifesting your
I
dreams? Yeah. Well, I don't know if I like to use the word. I think when you really reach for a specific goal, you might get it, right?
Yeah.
All right, manifest is Cambridge Dictionary's word of the year, but does manifesting really work? Well, a new poll from YouGov found nearly 40% of people believe in manifesting. Only about 38% say, nah, no such thing. 23% say they're not even sure. I can see that. All right, the poll found younger adults are more into this whole manifestation world than older folks. Now, when it comes to manifesting, there are various approaches you can take. According to this article, some people write down their goals daily, others create a vision board and music playlists to help clarify their goals. Well, I just have a, I don't know, to-do list. I guess. If I can get through the to-do list every day, that is my way of manifesting my day.
You know, I feel like there's so many different ways to manifest, and there's so many different definitions of what it could be. You know, like it could be a simple prayer, or it could be, you know, surrounding yourself with a certain environment, or, you know, or writing it down. I mean, there's so many different ways that people can manifest.
Yeah, I think the word is a little overused these days. But hey, you know, manifesting, praying, writing down goals, whatever you got to do, keep it positive and everything will work out.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, I love this story. And when it comes to summer travel, I always have a gas station stop. I have a go-to place I go to.
get
It's
all the
the
goodies?
Love's gas station. And so
Love's
Tom's
gas
looking at me like, what is going on? I found a list of the most desired gas station foods in America. And this list at the top, which by the way, Michigan also agrees, beef jerky. People are stopping for beef jerky at gas stations.
I could see that. I'm more of a Slim Jim kind of gal because I feel like the beef jerky's too hard. You know, it's too hard to chew.
But a gas station stop for beef jerky, and Michiganders saying that's at the top of their list. That's followed by Rice Krispie treats, Skittles, taquitos or taquitos. There's always an argument about how to pronounce that.
Taquitos.
Taquitos and Chex Mix. Chex Mix. Who's
who's keeping them in business is the question. Chex Mix is not my favorite.
Well, if you had a favorite, not mentioning Slim Jims, what would you be stopping for?
Definitely like a Slurpee or something.
Well, Slurpee's more 7-Eleven-ish.
Well, they have Slurpees at like
But yeah, I
Speedway.
guess they have 7-Eleven gas stations, so that works.
They do. Or like some sort of drink, some sort of nice cold beverage. Definitely stopping for that. I'd probably get one of those cookies and cream Hershey bars. Those are so good. So good with the little cookie bits in it. But I'm definitely not stopping for Skittles. Skittles make my stomach hurt.
Well,
what are you getting?
Okay, I am the taquito, however you want to say it. Taquitos. I will stop and get all those. It doesn't matter what kind. Southwest is usually my go-to. Anything else? Sure, why not? And of course, I got
a taquito from a gas station.
Always.
Really?
And a coffee.
A taquito from a gas. I feel like those are like.
I'd have to use the gas station bathroom.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I go to Love's. Their gas station restrooms are phenomenal.
And you've never felt a little sick, a little queasy after eating them?
Never.
Do you eat gas station hot dogs?
Never. I don't eat hot dogs.
Gas station pizza?
Yes. Yes.
What?
Oh, absolutely.
I don't know.
Tom is laughing at me here.
It's out all day. It's just sitting
No,
out.
it's actually not because those get cycled through. Everyone's stopping at a, especially if it's like a truck stop.
Like it's been sitting there all day.
Yeah. And then it's just like people coming in, like from pumping the gas or going and like just touching everything. And
you have to look at the pizza. If there looks like there's any lint or fuzzies, you're not trying to grab that.
I'm reporting you, actually.
My gosh, but yeah. gas station snacks all the time. By the way, sunflower seeds would also be my
Oh yeah, that's
my
a good one.
go-to.
The one with this like hard shell.
Oh, absolutely.
Or without?
Shelled, yes.
While you're driving?
While I'm driving. I'm
What do
sitting
you-
there with the cup. I'm not even going to imitate it. Not
I
good
don't
for
believe
camera.
this. I don't believe this. The girl who keeps track of every single thing that happens in her relationship, the girl who knows the date and the time of when you first locked
Yep.
eyes.
And stop
And
and
you mean to
form.
tell me that you are
Rolling up
with
that
the- with the
hoodie,
sun-
gas station snacks, give me that coffee or Slurpee, I'm ready to go. In
all right?
fact,
All right.
I'm going
You
right
know what? Yeah. Happy birthday.
Thank you, Bree. Thank you. You got me all hungry.
And we'll be right back. Welcome back to Fox 2 Detroit Live. You are looking live out at Grand Prix. Detroit Grand Prix, that's where everything is going to be happening over the next 3 days. 72 degrees outside, so it's a nice, beautiful day as well. Gotta love that. Gotta love the energy that's in our city right now. Now, Stellantis is giving us a look at its new Jeep Cherokee, and fans and dealers have been waiting a while, ever since the last Cherokee rolled off the line more than 2 years ago. So here it is. This is what it looks like. This is what it looks like. Kind of looks like the Compass, but it also looks like the newer Jeep Grand Cherokee. Now, these are some of the images that are being shared, or one of the images I should say. Now, the new model will have a more boxy-like appearance, mimicking the Bronco a little bit there. Now, it'll have a gas-electric hybrid option. Stellantis generally sells more than 200,000 of these mid-sized SUVs per year. And the new Cherokee will arrive at some point this year. It'll be built in Mexico, and the prices will be from a little less than $30,000 for the basic model, all the way around to $40,000 for the fully loaded variety. Well, it's the annual event where children amaze and maybe make us wonder if we missed a class or two in school. Now, we're talking about the script spelling bee where kids spell words we've never heard and probably can't even pronounce. I know I can't.
Your word is éclaircissement.
Éclaircissement. E-C-L-A-I-R-C-I-S-S-E-M-E-N-T. Éclaircissement.
That is correct.
I'm gonna get to that, Tom. Now, if you didn't hear what he said with the word that he was spelling, it was éclaircissement. Now, it's a word of French origin. The definition is clearing up of something obscure. I feel like we could have said that in a less complicated way. No, 13-year-old Fazan Zaki of Texas, he's the champ. He finished second last year, and this time he will take home $50,000 in cash and prizes. If the event confused you in any way, we hope that this story provides some éclaircissement.
Nice.
Now, do you know what it means, Tom?
Thanks to you.
Clearing of obscure situations.
Can I quiz you, Bree?
Yeah.
Okay. So these are some of the most misspelled words in the English language.
Oh, God. Okay. All right.
So in the spirit of the script spelling bee, Bree, your word is colonel.
Colonel. Can you use it in a sentence?
Sure. The colonel waged war on his opposing forces.
C-O-L-E-N-E-L?
Very close. O-N-E-L. So you were very close. Very close. Very close.
Okay.
Okay. Now here's some irony. Misspell. The word is misspell.
M-I-S-S-P-E-L-L.
Ding 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 ding
ding ding ding ding ding ding.
Very good. Okay. How about occurrence?
Use it in a sentence.
It is a rare occurrence for Bree to get something wrong.
O-C-C-U-R-R-E-N-C-E.
Very good. That's incredible. That's incredible.
There we go.
Bree, way to go.
I got
That
a little
was
bit of a
great.
photographic memory. I'm
That's
just
great.
picturing it in my head.
Well, what's hard about a lot of these words, and I think this is what trips up those kids too, is like when there's double letters
Yeah.
twice in the word. So the reason that like occurrence is tough is because you have two C's, two R's.
Yeah.
Another one that's pretty tough is accommodation, two C's, two M's.
You know, one that gets me is definitely.
Yeah. Oh, I totally agree. I cannot
do
spell
not know
definitely.
how to spell definitely.
I always spell it definitely.
That's how I spell it.
Yeah, and it's wrong. Yeah. God, I'm so with you on that one. Pneumonia ranks up there. Oh, jeez, oh, Pete. You want to know a crazy one?
Yeah.
Oh, God. I think this is a medical word. No. It's okay. So the definition is the act of estimating something as worthless.
Oh.
And the word is.
I don't like that.
Flacanasyphilization.
I don't even think this guy.
There's like 20 letters in this word.
I don't even think John or Fazan Zaki, the 13-year-old who won this, who spelled éclaircissement.
Yeah.
He probably can't even spell that.
So this also it also
How does
marks
he know what that means?
definitely is one, and most people like you and me spell it defiantly or something. We spell it wrong. And then another one that I also agree with, the word separate.
Separate.
Because I always
S-E-P-E-R-A-T-E?
No. A-R-A-T-E. Separate.
Yeah.
And everybody sneaks an E in there, and it's separate, not separate.
Separate.
Isn't that's crazy?
Yeah.
Look at this.
Yeah.
That's great. What a day. Do we even need to do weather? Are we good?
We don't.
It's nice out.
Yeah, we don't need to do it.
Although, okay.
2 minutes.
So, I'll do it in 2 minutes because I do have some important stuff to discuss, and one of those is an air quality alert. So this air quality alert is in effect for all of the southern Michigan, including southeast Michigan, because there is that Canadian smoke that is driving down from Canada. Those wildfires way up in Manitoba, Saskatchewan. It's all dragged down here by the prevailing winds, and it is putting us in this unhealthy for some category. So people that have heart-lung disease, older adults and young children, it may be a bit unhealthy or difficult to breathe if you're outside for an extended period of time. And if that is the case, spend less time outside and more time inside today. Some cars nowadays, they've got filters, HEPA filters in there. And if your car has one of those things where you can touch it on the touch screen and kick it in, not a bad day to do so. So that air quality is reduced out there for today. Month of May wrapping up, 2 more days in the month. And it's been a wet month as we look. Did it rain on this day in May? Just a simple yes, no. And we're about 50% yeses. So almost half the month has been a wet month. And as we wrap things up, we're probably going to see a little bit more rain as we move through those evening hours tonight. 7, 8, 9 o'clock, elevated rain chances, not just rain, but also an opportunity for us to see some thunderstorms mixed in there as well. So evening showers, evening thunderstorms are a possibility. Temperatures have already jumped up into the lower 70s, so we are warming up nicely with a few peaks of sunshine. It's quite nice outside right now. It will remain sunny until about 4, maybe 4:30. Then those clouds will start to push in with the rain showers expected after 6 o'clock, lasting until probably close to 10 p.m. Those are the late storms, late showers, late thunderstorms for today. 77 degrees, winds pick up a little bit out of the east, and they kind of shift a little bit as we move overnight. But there's the rain out there moving through northern Michigan, even pushing through mid-Michigan right now. And those are what is moving in our direction. So that is the evening rain that we are tracking. 7-day forecast showing a drier weekend after a cool breeze on Saturday with partly cloudy skies. More sunshine Sunday, 72. Upper 80s by early next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, 87 and 86. And I will tell you this, that is definitely a good forecast.
Well, on a separate note.
Oh, look at this.
Let's look at the end of the camera over there, at the end of the box.
Yeah. What is it?
That's a duck.
The duck jumped up. I was like, is that a bird's butt?
No, that's a duck. That's a big old duck sitting on the bird cam.
So that's like the breast of the duck. Like yes, okay.
Yeah, that's the front part.
Yeah,
but
okay.
It's like, get out of there.
I did see that out of the corner of my eye when I was doing the forecast right there, and I was like, is that duck mooning me? Or is that bird mooning me? I couldn't tell. I thought it was someone's butt.
He's literally eating all the food.
Well, you know what?
Look at it. He's going deep into those little pockets to get the food.
Ducks eat seed.
I would say that bird feeder is accommodating. I think that was one of the words, right? That duck. Hold on, I have to find more. That duck is receiving. Spell that. Receiving the
it's an
food.
Occurrence
It's
that
an
we
occurrence.
see way too often
but
over here.
If he turns around and shows us his butt, that would be a real embarrassment. Sorry, that was another one. Sorry, I'm just reading off the list of commonly
Eclaircy
misspelled.
swam.
Yeah, we got to move on. I think we're losing Tom for sure. So
Eclaircy swam.
yeah.
All right. See you, Derek. All right, well, thousands will pack downtown Detroit today, wrapping up the Motor City Pride that's happening next week. It starts next month, the June 1st. But there's something happening in Palmer Park that we want to tell you about. Stick around. Ready? Welcome back. Well, during Pride Month, we see all kinds of events coming about, and one event in Palmer Park is celebrating everyone, no matter their orientation. It's hosted by Welcome Home Yoga and Wellness, and co-founder of the Wellness Space joins us live to tell us about this. Robin Childers here on Fox 2 Detroit Live. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks so much
Welcome,
for having
my
me.
friend. So let's talk about this. This is the 5th year that you've been doing this. How have you seen this event impact so many different people?
So we've grown every year.
Yeah.
This event supports, it's a safe space. Inclusion is celebrated. You come as you are. It was the first event of its kind to recognize a non-binary category for participants that are entering the event. And I think in general, it's a happy time. You know, it's the start of Pride Month. First, it's the second Sunday, so you know, just one weekend, and we have Grand Marshal, we have local sponsors with food, and certainly the award categories, you know, so it's fun for everybody.
Yeah, and this is something that represents a whole community of people, not just within Detroit, but also, as you mentioned, the LGBTQIA plus community. Am I missing anything?
I think you covered it all,
Okay.
Bree. Nice job.
And Robin, I specifically want to talk to you about this because you are non-binary. You go by they, them.
That's correct.
Tell us why it's so important to refer to people as, you know, how they want to be referred to.
Because giving people their own individual voice is really no different than every citizen having equal rights, you know. And I think that particularly this season, with all of the anti-LGBTQ, you know, the rising tide of anti-LGBTQ legislation that has cropped up, it's more important now than ever to continue to give people the right to show up as they are, and speaking for themselves exactly as they are. I think currently the UCLA is tracking 588 bills that have been passed that are anti-LGBTQ, and that's, I think, since last week. So it's really, really an unfortunate situation that the climate has been so negative. It impacts our mental health, our ability to not be able to show up and define our own identity as we prefer to be called, you know? If you tell me I want to be called Bree, then I'm going to respect you and I'm going to call you Bree, you know?
Yeah.
So that's kind of where it is. And it's now more important than ever because we've fought so hard to make such progress.
And yeah, and I think that's kind of the theme that I'm getting with the event that you're hosting, you know, bringing people together to have that safe space, but also to show folks and give folks the opportunity to network with one of another and learn from different perspectives and whatnot. But how do you think that this event is going to help build that?
So that's a great question. I think that, first of all, this event supports 3 local nonprofits, the Ruth Ellis Center, Affirmations, and People for Palmer Park. So we're building bridges within the community that otherwise have their own missions, but with aligned values, we come together with passion and purpose. And I think we can create something even more special, more meaningful, you know, just becoming a force of good for the entire community. So we have invited special representatives from each organization to come and table and share their information to help educate and build these bridges. People can access this information there. They can have conversations. They can feel at home. And that's what this is all about.
So tell us, how do we register? How do we get all the information, all the details on what's happening on June 8th?
Absolutely. Thought you'd never ask. So it's www.welcomehomeyoga.com, and you'll find our events page there. You can register as a participant or a volunteer. This is such a fun event. You know, food is included, folks. Really delicious food from. Okay.
Tom's in. Say food and drinks, he's there.
Yeah, so register and come on out. And if you want to volunteer, we still have plenty of opportunity for you to come be a part of this experience. And, you know, there's nothing more special than a community event like this.
Yeah, and is there like a registration fee or anything like that?
Yeah, all of the fees are listed on the event webpage, but we have the 8K, the 5K, the 1 mile event, And yoga. Yoga's going to follow all of the races.
Love that. Nice.
You coming this year?
Nice moment to regroup. I think I'll put it on my schedule. June 8th. I could use some yoga. That's my yoga day anyway, so might as well, right?
All right.
All right, Robin. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having us.
Well, right now we have a preview of what we know will be a weekend full of high speeds and roaring engine during the Detroit Grand Prix. And we're about to give you a first-hand look at how the city streets have been turned into a racetrack. Fox 2 Scott Wolchek takes us along for a very wild ride in downtown Detroit.
We're going on a hot lap right now down Jefferson Avenue. Take a look.
The thing I love about this track is it's like Gran Turismo. You've got Jefferson Avenue going 140 miles an hour against the red lights. It's really fun.
Fun is right. Testing out the 2.5-mile track for the Grand Prix in a CT5V Blackwing. Seeing just how fast we can go.
Good luck holding on.
Right away, we got in the car and all I said was, yeah, yeah, every turn, yeah. The adrenaline was real, to say the least. Brian and Shauna won a raffle to take a trip on the track. They were riding in vets, hitting over 140 miles per hour.
It was awesome. I would go again. It was unlike anything. All the years driving on Jefferson, never at that speed and through red lights.
The biggest fun to me was coming fast into the turns and then downshifting down him, because he did a great job. Really a professional driver. So professional, they put up with our jokes while driving.
Just like you're driving to work this morning. I wish. It would have been more fun, that's for sure.
A total blast and a unique opportunity to feel like an IndyCar driver.
Oh, a lot of twists and turns. Those hairpin turns on turn, I believe, 4 or 5 were great. Just a great experience overall.
It was Kyle's first time on the track like that, but he's volunteered with the Grand Prix for 4 years.
It's the people, really. It's just great to see old friends as volunteers, as well as making sure all of our fans are having an amazing time.
So come on down as Grand Prix weekend kicks off, especially if you've got the need for speed.
All right, so that's the first turn.
Woo! Scott Wolchek, yes. Fox 2 News.
Oh, man.
Well, Fox 2 is your home for Grand Prix coverage. We'll be live all weekend. There's all the details. It's also on our website, fox2detroit.com. And we got some stuff coming up this time that you're spending with us today on Fox 2 Detroit Live. Be sure to stick around with that. Lauren Edwards and Ronya Shimona, they are up next. I'm trying to talk too fast. Got to slow it down. Chill. There we go. Bye.
programming web.
I can hear them.
Tell him to pick up the camera.
Thanks for joining us on this Friday, May 30th. I'm your host, Ronya Shimona, and we have a fun show planned ahead.
Live from the Fox 2 newsroom, this is Fox 2 Detroit.
It is the weekend race car fans have been waiting for. The Detroit Grand Prix kicking off today and running all the way through Sunday. We're taking you live there right now. Detroit. Look at this action scene. We've been hearing the engines roaring, the crowd cheering. So much happening in downtown right now. Lots of people will be heading to the city for this event. That includes our very own Fox 2's Lauren Edwards joining me live. Lauren, I would love to switch spots with you right now.
Ronya, you forgot the biggest thing. Yes, it's the Detroit Grand Prix, but I think it's someone's birthday. I think that's bigger. I think that's so much bigger. It's your birthday. You know what? I'm going to point out some birthday gifts for you, girl, because we're both May babies. So I got one for both of us, right? So first, I'm in the fan zone. This is all the fan zone here. It's the Chevrolet fan zone. It's pretty cool. It's free. You got hundreds, dozens, a lot of people out here. But we got this one right here. It's a Chevrolet. They got all of their beautiful shiny toys out here. And it's a military vehicle, but it matches my very green aesthetic, which you know very well, because I don't know any other color. But let me show you what I would have, Ronya, if I didn't have student loans. I got to show you over here. If I had no loans, this would be mine. This would be my baby. I'd actually love it. Hey, do you love this, sir? It's beautiful. It's a 2025 Corvette. It is absolutely stunningly beautiful. I don't even want to touch it. That is how pretty it is. But if you come out here all weekend, this is what it's going to look like. You're going to see all of their shiny new toys at Chevrolet. Again, dozens, it has to be hundreds, maybe even thousands out here. There's so much to do in the fan zone area. So much like family-friendly fun. There's food. Don't be bringing no food up in here because you can't be doing it around here. But Ronya, I wish you were here. I just wish you and Tom were both here.
You know what? I am so tempted to roll down there the second we are wrapping up this show. But let me tell you, it's such an incredible moment seeing all the fans downtown. This obviously being a big event for Motor City. What is the coolest thing you've seen so far?
I want to say the honest coolest thing, besides the 2025 Corvette right there that is orange and beautiful and sleek, is just hearing the engines roar. You can come right over here. I'm going to show right behind me. You could hear them practice, engines roaring, people are coming early, they're getting set up. It's so cool. It's definitely so cool. That's the best part.
Are there food vendors out there we need to try?
Girl, yeah, you know I wouldn't be out here without no food. I'm gonna take my Ronya. Girl, you know I wouldn't have been out here if there was no food.
All right, you better save me some.
I know I hear Tom too. Tom, is some food for you too.
Yeah, Tom wants a hot dog.
I'll save you some birthday cake.
Lauren Edwards, thank you so much. Save me a seat and some food. I'll be there shortly.
Yeah, happy birthday, beautiful. Happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you so much. All right, 150,000 people are expected to attend this awesome 3-day event, which, of course, means so much to our city, so much, especially when it comes to safety. Motor City ready to take on this Grand Prix event where there'll be barricades and fencing surrounding the track. That way, police officers will be able to be in uniform and undercover and monitor the event. Firefighters also working to patrol the crowds and monitor even the air quality out there. So, of course, everything is top priority.
Fire operations will have 2 engines that will be strategically located on either sides of the track so that they can respond accordingly. If necessary, we'll also have our hazmat team will be doing air quality monitoring.
We strongly encourage, we kind of demand that you leave the speeding on the racetrack out here. Again, with the density that we will have of people walking through our streets, slow those vehicles down.
Yeah, you heard that. Leave the speedsters for the race car drivers. In addition to slowing down, remember, Michigan is a hands-free state. That means no phones behind the wheel. Officials say no guns or knives are allowed at the event either. Of course, we have all that information on our website. And if you're planning to go downtown all weekend, there are some traffic notes you're going to want to keep in mind as well. Fox 2's Kelly Rowe here with those details.
The Detroit Grand Prix is finally here, which means road closures. We got to get through them. So, of course, Jefferson is closed right along the riverfront towards that area until June 6th because they'll need to take it down next week. For drivers on 375, they'll have to exit at Lafayette until June 2nd on Monday. But for now, you won't be able to use Jefferson unless you have a pass for that. Also closed is Woodward all the way between Gratiot and Larned. So that's kind of the stretch of things and campus marshes around there. Expect those roads to be closed. Pedestrians can still use them, but Atwater also closed as well. All of that until June 2nd. Again, think of it like the NFL draft. So the Detroit People Mover and Q Line are both free, so you can use those and park far away and kind of shuttle in, as well as a free shuttle service. You'll find that within the venue with stations you can get to, and they'll help you get around with golf carts. Also, Mogo bikes are available. Remember those bikes, they're red. There's 620 of them at 75 stations across Metro Detroit. You can use those to kind of wheel yourself in, and you have an app you can use for those. Speaking of apps, Park Detroit app, you can reserve parking at garages and lots, and you can also use the Find My Car option that offers walking directions back to your vehicle. So a ton of ways to get around. You can find real-time traffic conditions on the way down on our Fox 2 weather app if you need it.
Thank you, Kelly, for that little update. We'll have much more from the Grand Prix over the next few hours, including live reports from our very own Lauren Edwards, if she's not munching on those goodies, and other race-related events happening in the city. You can also check out all of our coverage here at Fox 2 Detroit. All you got to do is go to our website, fox2detroit.com. We have everything you need to know before you head down for race day, whether it's today, tomorrow, or Sunday. Again, today's show, you don't want to miss it. So a lot more to come here on Fox 2 Detroit live at 2, and I have some special surprises, so don't go anywhere. back to Fox 2 Detroit live at 2. Can you hear those sounds? Yeah, race car drivers on the streets of downtown Detroit for an unbelievably packed weekend in our city. You don't want to miss this event. If you're a race car driver fan, race car fan, you got to be downtown. All right, here's some bad news, everyone. I don't want to say this, but a little disturbing, a little fascinating too. Cicadas are back and they're invading the East Coast. Unfortunately, the large insects, the type of bug that emerges every 13 to 17 years, making their way back. And as billions emerge from the ground in states like Georgia, Ohio, Kentucky, and New York, cicadas emerging when wet ground temperature reaches about 64 to 65 degrees. And once they're out, they stick around for about a month, depending on the weather. So these insects are referred to as the keystone brood. I know. This category is based on their pattern rather than their biological traits. Regardless, any insect invasion is a problem. I'm bringing in my friend Derek. Derek, I know you're a meteorologist expert. You know weather. I'm assuming you might know why these bugs come around too. I don't know.
Yeah, I did a story on when we had Brood X that emerged here in Michigan.
Right?
I think it was 2 years ago.
2 years.
This is not a bad thing. This is not a bad thing. First off, cicadas are a very harmless bug. They don't bite. They don't like infest your home or chew through like your wooden siding.
They just have that annoying buzz.
But also isn't part of it kind of comforting? Like for me it feels very summery.
It does.
It feels like yes, it feels like a nice summer night, and you hear the buzzing of the cicadas. And first off, we do have cicadas every single year. There's different broods. That's like a way to say like different types of them.
They're the way they're categorized.
Yeah, they're categorized in these different broods based on, I don't know, it's like phylum or genus or species or whatever.
Who would have thought we have an insect specialist in town?
But, and Tom will get this. Tom will understand this. In a way, they're almost like the fish fly.
Yes.
Where they hatch once a year, and they are a representation of the health of that environment. So the fish fly is good for the lake, good for the the whole feeding cycle of the fish and all that kind of stuff. And cicadas are similar as well. I mean, birds eat them, so they're good for the bird population. Our bird cam, I bet you they'd love it.
We should find some cicadas and give it to them.
And let them eat it.
I'll leave that up to you.
By the way, Derek, I didn't know you had so much knowledge on bugs.
I got a lot of useless stuff stuck in this brain of mine.
Oh my gosh. Well, now you only have 2 minutes to do a weather hit.
Oh, shoot. Okay. Well, we got to talk Grand Prix. Huge weekend for the Detroit Grand Prix. That is where we are going to begin our weathercast here. We start with the Grand Prix forecast all weekend long, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Sunday, the big race, but events happening today through Sunday. Temperature is going to be a little cooler on Saturday. We fall down into the 60s. The other big piece of the weather story today is the Canadian wildfire smoke. Now, we have been watching this for the last couple of days. The bullseye of the smoke is out here in Minnesota and Wisconsin, so that's where the heaviest smoke is. But the smoke is already pushing down. You probably notice it. Things looking a little hazy off on the horizon. If you look really far off in the distance, you see a little bit of a haze. Sunset will probably be beautiful with the smoke out there because of the way that the particulates in the atmosphere deflect and reflect and refract the rays of the sun. And then that's going to last through the afternoon and evening. Nighttime hours tonight, it starts getting better. And the western side of the state may be dealing with more of that smoke as we head through the weekend, but we should be more smoke-free. Unfortunately, it does bring an air quality alert out there today. Unhealthy for some. That puts it for people that have been dealing with heart-lung issues for a while, older adults, and younger children. So if you're in that group, you may notice things getting a little bit difficult to breathe outside later today. If that's the case, just limit your amount of time outdoors, go back inside where the air is filtered, and we should be good to go. Notice that rain in northern Michigan, already tracking through central Michigan, and it's on its way here. We're going to see the clouds thicken up through the late afternoon, early evening. We'll see the rain chances start to pop up after 6 p.m., and it's really 7, 8, 9 o'clock tonight where we're going to see the best chance for a shower, and there is a chance we could get a rumble of thunder in there too. Severe weather looks less likely, but a chance for a thunderstorm is in the forecast. Clouds will still be a bit thick out there Saturday. This is 4 a.m. Saturday morning, so we'll wake up to extra clouds. That will give way to more sunshine, but a cooler day Saturday, a sunnier and milder day as we head into Sunday. Let's go around the state. If anybody has any travel plans this weekend, say South Haven, you're looking at Friday, Saturday right there, 67 to 57 degrees. Getting up to Glen Arbor, it's about 61. Yes, raining right now up north, so there's 100% chance of rain, but drier and sunnier on Saturday. Tequamanen Falls, 61 degrees. Let's bring it back down into the lower peninsula for Alpena. 69 on Friday, 62 on Sunday, and Friday is looking like the wetter day. So anybody doing any up north travel, just know that today is wetter for areas up north where we're watching that rain arrive later this evening and tonight. Cooler breeze out there for Saturday. It's going to be a 10 to 20 mile an hour breeze that keeps that 67 degree day feeling slightly cooler, but not cold by any means, just cooler. And then next week, we crank that summer heat, Tuesday, Wednesday, 87 and 86.
Take those 80s. Thank you, Derek.
You're welcome.
All right, still ahead, combining sounds while celebrating the spirit of Detroit. We're talking all about Urban Art Orchestra. In fact, the composer is here to tell me about their show and so much more. Stick around. Fox 2 Detroit live at 2.
Something that would be kind of a hybrid between like a live performance that does have some sort of educational element to it, but also like this party. Like we wanted it to feel very much like a DJ set.
Boy, do I have an announcement to make. Urban Art Orchestra is all about bringing the vibrant fusion of jazz and Detroit soul with a dynamic group known for their rich orchestration and unique sound that celebrates Detroit's musical heritage. I absolutely love this. And now you can listen to all that musical magic when they take the stage at the Aretha Amphitheater this Wednesday. Joining me now to tell us all about this very special performance with a special surprise, composer Deshaun Jones. Good to have you on the show.
It's great to be back. How are you?
I'm doing great. What you guys are doing is phenomenal for the city. Talk to me about this June 4th event and the surprise guest.
Well, the surprise guest I can't talk about because it's a surprise. But this is the 40th anniversary of the Aretha, and I'm just so proud to have this opportunity to present Urban Art Orchestra for the season opener. This is honestly our first time taking the stage, so we have a lot of pressure on us to deliver, but every performance that we've had in the city has been successful. It's been well supported by the city of Detroit, and I'm just proud to just be here now. You understand what I'm saying? Like, this is just a beautiful way to kick off the summer.
The Detroit just blaring with everything. Everything's been incredible. A city with such rich music, history, and legacy, especially when it comes to the Aretha celebrating 40 years. Talk to me about what this means for you to be at this event, taking stage, and what this means for the entire orchestra.
It's a tremendous honor. I've gone to many concerts. I remember when it was called Shane Park. And so, you know, there's a lot of history there, a lot of memories, seen some amazing concerts, and to have an opportunity to grace the stage with, you know, in the shadows of all the legends that have been there, and to be a part of the kickoff for the series, I mean, it's a tremendous honor. It really is.
And, you know, we're looking at some this is performance footage of you guys playing. I got to tell you, the sounds are incredible. Talk to me about the group. What makes your group so different and so special?
Well, it's comprised almost exclusively of all Detroit musicians. As you can see in some of the videos here, they're all really young. Some of them are college age, some of them are young professionals, some of them are, you know, a little bit more seasoned and have touring experience. But this configuration and this ensemble is really focused and centered around young energy and bringing the orchestra back to the people as opposed to a performance space. I really think that there's a need and a service, even a community service, to bring the orchestra to Detroit.
Yeah.
Right. And to play music that we celebrate and that we enjoy. Brahms is great, you know, Shostakovich, all that is great. Bartok, you know, I love all those works, Beethoven, but we also have Quincy Jones, we have Jay Dilla, you know, and Rick James, and, you know, just all the music of Motown. Like, there's so much to celebrate, and I feel like Urban Art Orchestra is a celebration of Detroit music.
Absolutely. What moment do you think during your performance on June 4th is going to capture people and just keep them blown away?
You know, everybody's different, and I feel like music hits people differently at different points. So I think our job is just to show up and show out. That's what we came to do, was have a good time, and I'm certain that we're going to have a ball. I mean, it's Shane Park.
Yeah.
The Aretha.
And in order to show up, you got to get those tickets and be ready Wednesday, June 4th, 7:30 p.m. at the Aretha in Detroit. Anything else you want to share with us? This is an incredible event.
I just want to say thank you to the Aretha. Thank you, Detroit. We also were honored recently with the Spirit of Detroit Award. So I want to just say thank you so much. And thank you to all the members of Urban Art Orchestra. Shout out to Mad Mike Banks of Underground Resistance and Submerge. And we're probably going to give a special tribute to Ant Fiddler while we're on stage. So that's about it.
So many surprises, so much happening at that event. We'll put all of the information on our website, fox2detroit.com. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
That's it for Fox 2 Detroit Live at 2. Jay Towers is up next. Have a great day, everybody.
We go live now to Alan Longstreet, who's at the Grand Prix in Detroit. How's it doing down there, Alan?
We're real good. We got the starting flag coming up, and we're going to have the checkers are going, and then the green, and then the red, and then the yellow, and bam, we're off.
That was good.
That was good.
It's pretty good.
Was that good?
You seem to know
so.
enough about the Grand Prix.
The green, the yellows, the asphalt, and the potholes, and the men in the suits.
All that.
Yeah.
Helmets,
visors.
Ooh.
Visors.
Yeah.
We fake everything here like that.
Yeah, I don't know anything about
We've been
racing.
putting Allison out on
Fat Tuesday.
Fat Tuesday for years.
Yeah.
And St. Patty's Day.
Yeah.
Great.
I'd play the sound effect. I just don't have it.
It's fun.
So, listen, Grand Prix weekend goes off typically nice when it's, you don't want it to be sweltering hot. You don't want any thunderstorms.
Yeah.
And so if race goers are headed out this weekend, what should they expect starting today?
They're good. They're great. I mean, look, today we have a little bit of rain, but I'd say like maybe 5 to 8 o'clock is kind of the main window. So most of the day dry. In there, you'll see a little bit of wet weather. Tomorrow, totally dry. Sunday, totally dry and cooler, like comfortably cool, like 70 degrees. Okay. So that's not bad.
That's not bad.
That's not bad at all.
We'll take it. And then we get ready for next week.
Yeah, next week's going to be hot. Monday, 80. Tuesday, 80s. Wednesday, 80s. And eventually some storms. So.
Tomorrow, we're going to be in Southgate at the Kroger for Cereal Drive, kind of like our Cereal Drive kickoff party for our Downriver friends. And then our big Cereal Drive kind of comes to a close with all the big donations coming in on Thursday next week at Kroger in Royal Oak. And Alan Longstreet has been... He's been approved by management.
Good.
Oh, yeah.
We were wondering if you were going to be out there.
Well, we got to figure out the logistics,
He has to be approved by management. He's a constant.
He's a constant.
Yeah, we're there. Are you kidding me? Can't wait. Oh, and you know who else is coming? I've already set it up. Oh, I need to let her know.
Boys?
Well, no. Haley, she always comes and she does the fitness stuff.
Yeah.
Well, it's been like 2 years now. But the first year she came randomly, and I'm like, you did so. You're
going to do Get Fit out there from. Yeah.
I need to confirm, Haley, if you're listening, we're on for Thursday.
So while we wait for Alan's approval, he's already staffing.
Oh, I'm staffing. Yeah, we're taking the weather beast down there. We're make the moves.
Look at you staffing. Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah, let's work. We got to work harder, Chell. Starting Monday, let's line up more special guests.
That seems like a lot of work.
I'm going to get you on that.
Can we get a band?
Yeah, why the heck not?
Yeah, like Kid Rock maybe or Jelly Roll.
Why
Eminem?
not?
Why don't you give Eminem a call?
Oh, I was thinking like a marching band, but okay.
Yeah,
we'll get them on.
You might be able to get a marching band. I don't know about anyone else.
All right. All right. So what happened on this day 114 years ago? In 1911, the first Indy 500 was held. After 6 hours of driving, the driver won the average speed, 74.6 miles per hour. Sadly, one driver was killed 114 years ago in the Indy 500.
Oh, my God.
Isn't that wild?
That's totally wild. And they weren't going that fast.
So long. Here, look at
They
this.
were driving the speed limit.
This is Alice showing Allison.
Yeah.
Yeah, 74 is what you do on the highway.
I was going to say, I mean, they go much faster now, right?
Oh,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Over 100, maybe more than that.
Right.
103 years ago in 1922, the Lincoln Memorial was dedicated in Washington, D.C. It is something to see when you see it up close because it's gigantic.
I'd love to go.
That's the actual Lincoln.
That's Lincoln sitting
in the chair.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's,
I
come up to his foot.
I saw it, yeah.
22 years ago in 2003, Pixar released Finding Nemo. It went on to win the Oscar for Best Animated Feature.
Wait a minute! What is going on? You already told me which way the boat was going.
I did? Oh, no.
If this is some kind of practical joke, it's not funny. And I know funny. I'm a clownfish.
Funny.
I like that movie.
That was a great movie.
Yeah.
I never saw Finding Dory, though.
No,
I didn't
know.
watch that one.
Oh, yeah, that's right. There was a sequel.
Yep.
17 years ago in 2008, the Sex and the City movie was released.
That was a good one.
That came out well after the TV show, right?
Yes.
When did the show come out? Like in the early 2000s, right? Had to be.
Yeah.
Mid-2000s?
Late
I don't know.
90s,
Yeah.
early 2000s,
Oh, is
something like
okay.
that.
All right. There you go. There's your back in the day. 100.3 WNIC, Dearborn, Detroit. Let's do Hollywood Minute for your 7 o'clock hour, brought to you by our friends at Delicious Hudsonville Ice Cream.
Here's what Dolly Parton said about dealing with the grief of losing her husband. She said, I'm a person of faith. I truly believe that I'm going to see him again someday. I really feel his presence. I just try to go on because I know that I have to.
Yeah, they're together a really long time, most of her life.
Eddie Murphy revealed on the Jennifer Hudson show that his son Eric and Martin Lawrence's daughter Jasmine were secretly married about 2 weeks ago. They've been kind of like back and forth arguing about who's going to be paying for the wedding, like in a joking way.
But now no one has to pay for it?
It doesn't seem like it. He said everyone was making the big wedding plans. They decided to do something very quiet, just the two of them at a church with their preacher. And he says now Martin doesn't have to pay for this big lavish wedding.
Funny. Oh, how nice.
They are planning on doing like a big party though to celebrate. And finally, Shawn Mendes heading on the road again this year with a brand new tour celebrating the past 10 years of his career. It kicks off in Europe in August before bringing the shows to North America in September and October. It's a very limited list. Like he'll be in Chicago, New York, LA, but like aside from that, he doesn't have very many locations.
Well, I know somebody's birthday's in September, and the least we can do this year after the fabulous Brandon Flowers video that you were able to secure for me is
send her to Chicago.
Send her to Chicago to meet Shawn Mendes.
Yeah.
I think it's only fair.
I sure hope so. In theaters this weekend, we have Karate Kid Legends and Bringer.
So I got this in the mail. I opened up my email this morning and got this, a little gift.
Okay.
I'll tell you who it's from after.
Okay.
But I was blown away by the production value.
Wow.
The production value is simply incredible.
Okay.
And not what I expected when I hit play. Got about 2.5 minutes to go right now.
Okay.
Wake up, Detroit, the sun's on the rise. Turn that dial, feel the good vibes. It's Jay Towers and the crew, you know, with Allison and Chelsea on your morning show.
What?
From the Motor City to the Great Lakes Shore, he's a Michigan man, you couldn't ask for more. Radio show by day, giving back in the community by night. Jay Towers is like Superman without the kryptonite. He's the voice of the morning, strong and true. Spinning joy on iHeart.
Let it go.
Okay, sorry.
With a heart so big and a smile so wide, he's a light for the city, the hometown pride.
Hey now.
From radio waves to charity plans, Jay Towers is more than just a man.
That's just the first verse.
Are you serious?
There's more.
Oh my God.
He's got stories to tell and laughs to give, makes the whole Detroit area feel alive. And behind the mic, there's a soul so kind with Jay's Juniors. Love's never hard to find. Taking care of the kids with a gentle hand, giving dreams to some who can barely stand, making memories, wiping tears away. He's a hero in headphones every day. He's the voice of the morning.
I love this.
I'm blown away.
Blown away.
Spinning joy on iHeart just for you. With a heart so big and a smile so wide, he's a light for the city, the hometown pride. From radio waves to charity plans, Jay Towers is more than just a man.
Are we putting this in rotation?
No.
Can we
really should.
start it in overnight?
Take Chicago out today. Here we go. Third
And
verse.
when he's off the mic, he's winding down. clicking through YouTube, just lounging around.
Oh, God.
School clips to the latest trend. He's always learning, laughing down a rabbit hole and around the bend. Deep dives and food reviews with faith, food, and fun too. Yeah, Jay's a fan, just like me and you. With Allison laughing and Chelsea by his side, they ride the airwaves like a morning tide. Good friends, good talks, and just the right song. With Jay Towers, you know you belong. He's the voice of the morning, strong and true.
Okay.
Spinning joy on our heart just for you. With a heart so big and a smile so wide, he's a light for the city, the hometown pride. From radio waves to charity plans, Jay Towers, a good man, a great man. Oh, God.
Wow.
So here's to Jay.
How about that?
313, a Detroit legend, forever he'll be.
All about that.
Wow.
Okay, so that's a great song.
I always think things can't get better for you.
And then they do.
And then they do.
I'm going to be really annoyed, though, if that was ChatGPT. Please tell me that you didn't have ChatGPT make that song.
No. What is wrong with you?
can't make songs,
God, you're
can
such
it?
They can be radio hosts.
You're such a what's that called? A fun sucker lately. How about Brooks and Christy from Smoky Mountain Food, Faith, and Fun? How about Brooks wrote that?
You are kidding.
And put that together.
Are you serious?
Yeah, how about that, Chels?
Oh, my God.
Okay, well, settle down because I said that it was a really, really good song. That is so cool.
Looks like we're having a win for the show today. It's probably not real.
Maybe the reason she was thinking that is that
it was so good.
No,
exactly.
But that song, knew everything.
Right.
That too.
Right.
So,
you know who else knows everything? Fans of our show.
Yeah, I mean, everything was known in that song.
Do we know who the singer is?
The singer is unknown.
Okay.
But Christy said that Brooks wanted to get the song done quickly. She says you might recognize his style from the songs because he's written many of them and they're part of their show that they do.
Okay.
Smoky Mountain Food, Faith, and Fun.
He's a songwriter?
Yeah. And she also said our shirts are on the way.
Oh, my God.
So
you're right, Allison, though. Just when you think that his life can't get any better, then it does.
Now there's a hit song all about he's a good man, he's a great man.
Mm-hmm.
He's almost Superman.
With mention,
he is
with
Superman.
Mentions of the show and you and all that.
No,
because it fit it all in.
That's so cool.
Pretty good, right?
That was really good. Yeah.
So, I mean, I think this seals the deal. We're going to have to go now to see our friends.
They're putting in the effort.
Yeah. They're doing a good job. Brooks and Christy, thank you.
Thank you. That was amazing.
Fantastic. Unbelievable. It's blown away.
It. How are you going to manage to fit that in every day?
I don't know. Maybe I'll do an edited, shorter version just to kick the show off with.
Maybe that can take over our Feeling Good Mindy.
Oh, yes.
Saxophone.
Yeah.
Why? What's wrong with the Feeling Good saxophone? I only stole it from somebody's wedding. I can't find that video. All right. 100.3 W.
Incredible.
Time for That's Incredible. Incredible stories from around the world and beyond. At the beginning of the show, I had asked Allison, because she's been having so many sinus problems over the last couple of months, could it be something like this? We'll see. A woman on TikTok is going viral after claiming her ex-boyfriend passed gas kind of near her face, and it gave her a sinus infection that lasted 7 years. Here's Christine talking about the infection. Listen.
We dated like 7 years ago. I've had a persistent sinus infection ever since he and I stayed in a hotel one night after I had surgery, and he farted terribly.
Ew.
I got my sinus infection cultured today, and it is E. coli. You usually don't get E. coli in your sinuses because E. coli is from poop. I don't know. How does that get in your sinuses unless you have a boyfriend who farts disgustingly and you are forced to inhale it because you are immobile after ankle surgery?
That's incredible.
Was she a victim of a Dutch oven?
No, I don't know.
There is a lot of gas passing in, I mean.
At your house?
Yeah.
But my point is, I'm wondering if that, I mean, is that a real thing, or is she just, did she get E. coli some other way?
Oh, well, I don't know if she's had chronic sinus infections
For 7 years? 7 years ago, the guy had some gas by her, and now all of a sudden, come on.
I don't know. That's crazy.
Was she diagnosed by a regular doctor?
Or by TikTok?
And I'd like to think E. coli will not last 7 years.
Right.
It should clear your system.
Is E. coli airborne?
I don't know, but I'm going to demand that he does his gas passing in a room not near me, which I actually already demand.
Yeah, of course.
I'm like, why did you have to come in here and do that?
Right. You got a whole apartment.
Seriously, enjoy it.
The lights keep going out, or they kept going out, on last night's Women's College World Series game between UCLA and Oregon. The game had gotten backed up earlier in the day due to rain and lightning. So when the clock struck 10... this started happening. Very bizarre.
Fouled away by Clements. And there go the lights. A rise ball so ferocious, it turned out the lights here in Oklahoma.
Right at 10 p.m. It's not used to playing games this late. That's why.
Is that why?
And some folks in the crowd get out their flashlights. Savvy Polo, a well-deserved All-American year. Oh, there go the lights again. Well, this is an interesting subplot. We didn't have to take Big Ten After Dark that literally.
Incredible.
How about that?
Wow. Did they figure out what happened?
No.
I wonder if they're just on a timer.
Maybe.
Huh.
Police in Jacksonville, Florida are looking for a man with a long mustache who stole a ferret from a pet store by shoving it down his pants. I think I have audio from the store
That's
employee.
so gross.
I
Poor ferret.
know. Here, listen to this.
To me, it's crazy because we have cameras all in the stores. So the little bit of camouflage that he did do wasn't very camouflaged because he was right there on the camera, very easy to be spotted.
I'm just really focused on the ferret in your pants part of the story, obviously, but I'm really focused on the long mustache. I'd like more, like,
Just how long was this mustache?
does it go off your face?
I'm thinking like handlebar mustache.
That's what I'm thinking too.
I don't know. A guy that had way too much to drink crashed his car into another car in a motel parking lot. And when the police came and asked for his ID, he tried to bribe them by slipping them a $20 bill.
That's incredible.
He tried. Wow.
Listen.
Way to do it.
How about you cut me a break? It's so funny. One last story here that I put up on Facebook because I did it on TV yesterday in my Space Minute because it's real.
You got a lot of shares on that.
Did I?
Yeah.
44.
I mean, I always
being a space thing.
I mean, I'm always blown away by like people sharing. I don't know. Shares always surprise me. Like someone liked it that much that they shared it themselves.
There are people that just share things, like their whole page is shared.
Oh, okay.
Every 44 minutes, a mysterious signal blinks from deep space. Radio waves and X-rays, perfectly timed. No known object should be able to do this. So what is it? And then, and this scientist found where it's coming from. It's this like purple light. But I made a joke that that is kind of the whole plot of the movie Contact. Jodie Foster's like has this array of satellites, and she's hearing this like wink, wink, this like noise going off, and it turns out to be aliens who sent a signal millions of years ago.
So you think it's aliens?
Shouldn't we look more in every
they're
44
looking into
minutes?
Every 44 minutes.
And are we just now finding this out?
It sounds like it.
What's NASA been sitting over there doing for the last 50 years or however long they're old?
Well, maybe it hasn't been blinking for that long.
I think they just, listen.
We really need to get to the
They build these new satellites and these new telescopes, and they can point them to like a pinpoint of sand and find 5 billion things. It's crazy what's out there.
The way for his administration to strip, like I said, those temporary legal protections from hundreds of thousands of undocumented migrants for now. The justices lifted a lower court order that kept humanitarian parole protections in place for more than 500,000 undocumented migrants from those 4 countries, Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela. Now, the court also allowed the administration to revoke temporary legal status from about 350,000 Venezuelan migrants in another case. Now, the court did not explain its reasoning. This was a very brief order. That's typical, though, when they decide things on the emergency docket. 2 justices, though, did publicly dissent to this. So he was asked about that. That was another key feature. You also saw our colleague there, Fox's senior White House correspondent, Peter Doocy, ask him a number of questions about some of those very orders and rulings from federal judges that have gone against the Trump administration. You've heard many Trump administration officials describe that as judicial overreach, and he was talking about that as well. So, like I said, there was a lot in there, but he was also asked as well about the ongoing Diddy trial, on whether or not, depending on how the trial ends and shakes out, whether or not Sean Diddy Combs is convicted, whether or not he would consider a pardon. I thought that was a really interesting question from Doocy. He also asked President Trump about that viral video over the weekend, and you probably have seen it by now, of French President Emmanuel Macron essentially getting slapped by his wife, the French First Lady Brigitte Macron, on their plane as they were traveling to Southeast Asia. They were disembarking to Vietnam, and the door was open, and we all saw it, and you heard there President Trump saying, make sure the door is closed. So, like I said, there's a lot to get to. Remember, President Trump is traveling to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. He'll be speaking at U.S. Steel. Later on tonight, we'll be kind of previewing why he's going there. What is he going to say as this quote-unquote planned partnership is done? It's final between Nippon Steel and U.S. Steel. We'll be diving into the parameters of that a little bit later on as well. So still, so much more to get to on this Friday. I'm Andrew Kraft. We'll see you in 2 minutes. And welcome back here to Live Now from Fox. Thanks for being with us on your Friday. Hope you're getting a good start to your weekend. Let's keep it moving. As you know, this Sunday, June the 1st, well, that is the very beginning of Atlantic hurricane season. And we hope you join us for some of our special coverage starting there on Sunday, I believe at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. So we're going to be showing you some of these events, these press conferences from national hurricane officials, Florida officials. We're going to be checking in with our team at Fox 35 in Orlando as well about what this season has in store. You know very well last season was quite active. Hurricanes Milton and Helene wrought so much damage and devastation across the southeast. And remember, Hurricane Milton, smack dab in its path, was Tampa, Florida. Well, just about an hour ago, officials there in Tampa, led by Mayor Jane Castor, they were outlining their preparations for how they will handle this season of Atlantic hurricane season. So let's listen to that.
Pride in the way that our community responded to both Helene and Milton. As many of you have heard me say, born and raised here 65 years, and I've never seen the likes of either of those two hurricanes, and they hit us within 13 days of each other. And so it was unprecedented time for the Tampa Bay region. And I'm proud of the way that our teams stepped up and stepped forward. We picked up the debris that was left behind by both Helene and Milton in record time, ahead of the deadline, almost a month ahead of the deadline. And as you have also heard me say, we picked up enough debris to fill what's the Rivergate Tower, which is known to most as the Beer Can building 4 times over. And so a lot of effort went into it. Our amazing first responders handled 15,000 calls during that period as well, going out, rescuing people, putting their lives in danger to help our community. Knowing that we recovered on the outside, you know, everything looks great in our city. We've had a number of conventions and conferences and other events in our city since Helene and Milton. And the one question everybody asks me is, where's the hurricane? What happened? Because on the face of it, it looks like we are fully recovered. But we know that there are literally hundreds of people just within our city, not to mention the entire Tampa Bay area, that are still trying to rebuild their lives. And so we are here. We're still focused on that from the permitting standpoint, and also helping with FEMA and with insurance to the degree that we can. So what are we doing differently in preparation for?
Can you guys hear us?
About to start. Hey there, Detroit. Thanks so much for joining us today on this Friday, May 30th. I'm your host, Bree Teamer, and you're watching Fox 2 Detroit Live at 3.
Live from the Fox 2 newsroom, this is Fox 2 Detroit.
Well, it is Grand Prix weekend, and with such a big event like the Grand Prix, you can bet there are a lot of dollars attached to it. Fox 2's Tanisha Cordell has a look at the economic impact this is expected to have on our city.
Get ready, set, go.
It's going to be a great day downtown.
The 35th annual Detroit Grand Prix is here.
So we've got 3 great racing series competing all weekend long. We got a lot of fan activities. We got concerts on Saturday.
A roaring weekend for everyone.
I think the energy since we moved back downtown starting in 2023 has just been off the charts. I mean, it's grown every year.
And so has the Grand Prix's impact on Detroit's economy.
This is $78 million of direct impact to our economy, $150 million of indirect. So you
think about the bars, the restaurants, the travel, just all the brick and mortar retail stores, they're all touched by an event like this.
And those businesses from each city district are getting in on the action up close.
Go visit Small Business Straightaway. Some of our favorite neighborhood businesses are here along Woodward.
The Straightaway helping Detroit's diverse and minority-owned entrepreneurs drive sales and connect with a global audience.
And millions of people around the world are watching Detroit through an amazingly perfect lens. I mean, this weekend shows Detroit in a way that you just sort of, if you haven't been here, you don't think of.
The speed and thrill, not only entertaining, but also a welcoming gesture to those looking for a new home.
Events like this demonstrate Detroit as not only a welcoming, but an exciting, a dynamic, and a place that's ready to receive you.
Well, if you're coming out to check out the Grand Prix this weekend, you have the opportunity to watch some of the racing for free from at least 6 platforms along East Jefferson. No ticket needed. Again, for free. We've got more details for you online at fox2detroit.com. For now, I'm Tanisha reporting Fox 2 News.
150,000 people are expected to attend the 3-day event, which of course means safety is a top priority. There will be barricades and fencing surrounding the tracks. Police officers will be in uniform and undercover. Firefighters will be working crowd control and monitoring air quality.
Fire operations will have 2 engines that will be strategically located on either sides of the track so that they can respond accordingly. If necessary, we'll also have our hazmat team will be doing air quality monitoring.
We strongly encourage, we kind of demand that you leave the speeding on the racetrack out here. Again, with the density that we will have of people walking through our streets, slow those vehicles down.
And in addition to slowing down, remember Michigan is a hands-free state, so do not use your phone or any other device behind the wheel. Officials say no guns or knives are allowed either. And we'll have so much coverage from the Grand Prix over the next few hours, over the next few days, and that includes live reports from our Lauren Edwards coming up a little bit later this hour and other race-related events that's happening in the city. You can also check out our coverage at fox2detroit.com and be sure to check out the big race on Sunday, of course. It starts at 12:30 and you can watch it right here on Fox 2. No other place. Well, heads up that you may want to be changing your passwords after a massive hack exposed more than 184 million of them. According to a new report from cybersecurity researcher Jeremiah Fowler, the leak affected everything from Apple and Google usernames and passwords to social media logins and bank accounts. Now, a range of Microsoft product logins, Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat were also compromised, along with governmental portals and health service account data. Fowler hasn't confirmed exactly how the data was collected, but he says there's a lot of evidence pointing to the info stealing malware. We have more information on our website at fox2detroit.com. You're going to see a little bit of a glitch right here on your screen, but now you don't. And now we're on to the next story. Detroit police are looking for information after shots were fired in the parking lot of Martin Luther King High School on East Lafayette. This happened around 8:30 last night. Police say several teens were there at the time, but no one was hurt. They're now looking to speak to this person of interest. If you have any information that could help the police department out, just give them a call, or you can call Crime Stoppers at 1-800-SPEAK-UP. Well, 5 kittens crying for help after a woman dropped them on the doorstep of a motel in East Point. While they're being cared for by an animal rescue now, and investigators are still looking for some answers. East Point Animal Control thankful to find an adult cat that can nurse the babies. But since that mom is nursing other kittens, they're constantly fighting over food. The kittens are doing better, but officials say they still have a long way to go.
Abandoned animals this young that require that much care, they can't fend themselves, they can't do anything, they would have died.
Security video shows the woman banging on a door at the Eastland Motel in East Point Wednesday morning. If you happen to recognize her or know where the mom of the kittens may be, you're asked to give East Point Animal Control a call. Well, Northville Township is celebrating the opening of its new public safety headquarters. It's located at the site of the former Northville State Psychiatric Hospital on 6 Mile and Sheldon Road. The 65 square foot building now houses the police station and a second fire station. The fire chief says it will drastically reduce its response time to the community.
Our goal is to have a travel time to emergencies of less than 6 minutes. With our single fire station, we achieve that about 50% of the time. With the opening the second fire station, we achieve 6 minutes or less 96% of the time. So the improvement in response times is absolutely remarkable, and we've already shaved over a minute off of our average response times in the past 2 weeks of operating out of this station.
This is the first of 4 buildings set to open this year on the complex. A new Department of Public Works headquarters and Northville Parks and Recreation building will be unveiled this summer. Well, that 3 is just getting started. Grand Prix weekend, it kicks off today in downtown Detroit. Now the track is up and the streets are gonna be rumbling. A live check on all the fun with our Lauren Edwards when we come back from break. Welcome back to Fox 2 Detroit Live. You are looking live at all the action. This is the Detroit Grand Prix. Everything is going to be happening down there this weekend over the course of 3 days. Today, tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, all the dates. It's going to be so much fun out there. In fact, let's take a look at all the fun with Lauren Edwards because we know that a ton of people are going to be heading down there. Lauren, what is happening?
You know what? You know what the coolest thing about the Grand Prix is that you get all the behind-the-scenes look. And standing next to me, I have last year's champ. His name is Sebastian Priaulx. How excited are you for being here?
Yeah, I mean, I'm really excited to be racing in the Ford Mustang GT3 around the streets of Detroit. You know, the home of Ford. Ford is a great place for it. So, yeah, I mean, I'm excited, and it's one of the places I've done well here in the past. So I'm excited to go back out there and try it again.
And I was just saying, you did do really well here in the past. You are a champ. That is the best you could be. What do you like about Detroit?
Just a street track, it's nice to be something different rather than just a road course. It's really tight, and very tight 90-degree corners. You can see the city, it's really, really cool. So, I mean, I'm enjoying it here. And, obviously Flat Rock's just down the road. And, I feel like it's the home of Ford. So, I mean, I can't wait to hopefully do them proud this weekend.
Yeah, and talk a little about Flat Rock, because that had to be cool. That had to be so awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I've only seen pictures, but I love how they how they build the cars, and it's just literally just down the road. So I mean, it's really cool to be driving one of these Ford GT3s around here where it's been built. So yeah, I mean, I'm excited for the race, and hopefully we can keep it up front. We've had some good practice sessions, been right up there, so I'm excited for it.
And didn't the team just win in Daytona, which I've heard, forgive me, I don't know much, but I heard that's pretty cool.
Yeah, the win in Daytona, obviously really good for them. So we finished third, but 65 car won. Great success for them and Ford. This is one of the biggest races for us. So yeah, let's just hope we can have our win this weekend.
Absolutely. And again, it begins like 3:20 tomorrow is the race, right?
About that, yeah, that's about right. Yeah.
Perfect. All right, so you guys got to come out here. It's going to be so much fun. I'm hearing it's sold out, but I know there's some still tickets that people can get. Come out. You got to watch the champ. That's just all you got to do. It's the best thing about it. Reporting live in downtown Detroit, Lauren Edwards, Fox 2 News.
Yeah, Lauren, it's just such great weather out there as well. Even if it is sold out, the Grand Prix, you can always go and hang out around the surrounding areas. There's tons going on downtown Detroit. How's the traffic when you guys got down there? Was it pretty bad?
Just so you know, the traffic is terrible. You can book a parking spot, just so you know. That's how you know how bad it is. In Motor City, you got to book a parking spot.
Oh, my God. There's so much going on down there. That's why. Lauren, thank you so much.
You are so welcome.
And, if you are planning to go down there, Lauren told you the traffic is horrible, parking is horrible, but just to show you exactly where all of this is happening at and what routes you should take, what routes you shouldn't take, here's Fox 2's Kelly Roll with the details.
The Detroit Grand Prix is finally here, which means road closures. We got to get through them. So, of course, Jefferson is closed right along the riverfront towards that area until June 6th because they'll need to take it down next week. For drivers on 375, they'll have to exit at Lafayette until June 2nd on Monday. But for now, you won't be able to use Jefferson unless you have a pass for that. Also closed is Woodward all the way between Gratiot and Larned. So that's kind of the stretch of things and campus marshes around there. Expect those roads to be closed. Pedestrians can still use them, but Atwater also closed as well. All of that until June 2nd. Again, think of it like the NFL draft. So the Detroit People Mover and Q Line are both free, so you can use those and park far away and kind of shuttle in, as well as a free shuttle service. You'll find that within the venue with stations you can get to, and they'll help you get around with golf carts. Also, Mogo bikes are available. Remember those bikes? They're red. There's 620 of them at 75 stations across Metro Detroit. You can use those to kind of wheel yourself in, and you have an app you can use for those. Speaking of apps, Park Detroit app, you can reserve parking at garages and lots, and you can also use the Find My Car option that offers walking directions back to your vehicle. So a ton of ways to get around. You can find real-time traffic conditions on the way down on our Fox 2 weather app if you need it.
All right, so we know what it's looking like outside. We know how the traffic is going to be, the road closures. Now, all we need to know is what is the weather going to be like. And lucky for you, Derek Kevra has an update for us.
The weekend does look pretty good, but we do have a few things to contend with. And the first one is an air quality alert that is affecting pretty much the entire state of Michigan as we move through the afternoon. So let's take a look at that and talk a little bit about where we are expected to, what we're expected to see with this air quality alert. Goes till 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. That is Saturday morning. If you are somebody who typically suffers when the air quality gets bad, whether it is a ozone alert or in this case from the wildfire smoke up in Canada, today might be one of those days, especially as we move more into those later afternoon, early evening hours, that we could potentially be dealing with some of that unhealthy air. So unhealthy for people with heart disease, older adults, children, to try to limit those outdoor activities as that smoke continues to push in from the north. That is from Canada, by the way, way up near like Manitoba, Saskatchewan. That's where all that smoke is coming from as those fires continue to burn. And we'll probably see more of that as we move through the summer, but as far as how long it will impact us, probably just through the day on Friday with better air quality as we move into Saturday and Sunday. Okay, temperatures are going to start to drop, though, as we move into the weekend, because we do have a cold front that's going to come through tonight. That cold front's going to bring another chance for some showers and thunderstorms, and you may be sitting there going, another chance for rain? Feels like it's rained all month. Well, you know, you're not wrong. Now, we've had some pretty long stretches where it does seem like it's rained. Early in the month, it rained 4 days in a row. We had a nice 3-day stretch in here, the middle of the month, and then followed by 3 more days. So for the month as a whole, about every other day it's rained, about 50% of the month. And today's going to be one of those days where we do get another chance of it, and it's going to notably happen in those evening hours, 7, 8, 9 o'clock. You see those rain chances begin to jump up into that 24% chance, and then they start falling off after that. So rain kind of tapers off, comes to an end as we do move overnight. Temperatures warming up into the 70s. We do have a nice day out there for us. Still a bit of a breeze, so I would say comfortable for a lot of different locations as we see that high near 77 degrees. 67 on Saturday. By Sunday, we'll go 72, mostly sunny skies. Saturday will be a little bit cooler. The reason for that is because that wind is going to be blowing around 10 to 20 miles per hour. So at the 60s, that's a cool breeze. So just keep that in mind. 77 degrees out there for today. There's the rain off to the north, and these rain showers are going to drop down. So that is what's going to bring us that chance for some rain as we move into the evening. Again, 7, 8, 9 o'clock. That's our best opportunity to see those rain showers as the skies get a little bit cloudier moving in. It could also be a rumble of thunder. That is not out of the question. Saturday, Sunday, we'll see that cooler weather before that summer heat comes in full effect into next week. A couple of days in the upper 80s.
And be sure to stick with Fox 2 for continuing coverage this weekend. You can always get the very latest forecast by checking it, and it's free in the App Store and Google Play. Well, disturbing for many and fascinating for some, the cicada invasion is back for much of the eastern U.S. The large brood 14 is a type of the bug that emerges every 13 to 17 years and makes for quite the spectacle. As billions emerge from the ground in states like Georgia, Ohio, Kentucky, and New York, cicadas emerge when wet ground temps hit 64 to 65 degrees. And once they are out, they stick around for about a month, depending on the weather. This brood is referred to as a keystone brood, a categorization based on their pattern rather than their biological traits. Well, a local rapper has a song blow up on social media years after its release. We'll talk to him about his TikTok fame and his new album after the break.
best friend too.
Michael Jackson, I'ma beat it. Game undefeated. She look good in that bikini, but the winter time my favorite season. Frost.
Now, that's the song by Polo Frost that went insanely viral on TikTok a couple of years ago, and now he's here with us in studio to tell us about something new that he's working on. Polo, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate you.
Yeah, I mean, you got all dressed up, done up, got your hair done this morning, all the things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to come. It's Detroit. You got to come right.
So, I mean, let's talk about that TikTok, the song that went viral for a minute, because literally everyone was dancing to that. We had Lizzo, Gordon Ramsay, even surgeons were dancing to it. How did you feel when you just woke up one day and was like, oh, I went viral?
It was cool. What was the best part about it is my mom and my daughter called me about it. Like, I didn't just see it myself. So to see, like, family members call me about it, it was like, okay, this dope.
So the dance that goes with it, because it's like a whole little movement that goes with it. Did you come up with that, or did somebody else?
No, they did it themselves.
Have you met the person who came up with that?
Nope.
Wow.
I have no idea. And then, like, the people from Stranger Things, the show, like the cast from that, they were doing it. Like, everybody was doing it, and it was the same thing. I don't know how they come up with it.
That's so crazy how literally, like, the two have paired together. We got the song and then we got the dance. The two are paired together, and you never even met the person who came up with the dance. Crazy how social media works. So you got a new project that's coming out, or has it already been released?
It came out last Friday.
Okay, it came out last Friday. It's called It Was All a Blur. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I collab with my brothers, Marcus Dash and Florida God. Florida God is a platinum producer, work with Future, Rick Ross, all type of people. We're all actually from the Ypsilanti area.
Okay.
And we put this project together. We put it out last Friday. It's been getting a great response. You may not like one song, but you might like this one. There's so many different vibes. So to come together and make some great music with my friends is always a plus.
Yeah, and I feel like that's the reality of any album. You know, you might not like every single song on the album, but there is going to be something for you to love. What's your favorite song?
A song called Change Your Life. It's a good vibe. Like, I'm a big viber, so
yeah.
That's
What's
the whole
the message?
Just, changing a woman's life. Taking her out, good time.
Changing a woman's life, not changing your life.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
My life's
you've already
okay.
done that, right?
Yeah.
So how many songs are on this album?
11. Well, actually 10 and then the intro. Intro is kind of like, not really a song, but 11 tracks total.
So is the intro like you telling the story? Like
No, basically just like kind of like a little vibe leading into the first song. It's not really telling the story. It's a nice little instrumental with some background vocals, so it's pretty cool.
So who is all on this album, or was this just a completely solo project?
Just me, my boy Marcus Dash, and the producer. We did it all. We didn't get no features. We just did it all together as a team, just us three.
Wow. So the project is out now. It's got 11 songs, all the things. What are people saying about it on social media?
Oh, they love it. They love it. I've dropped projects, and I've never gotten a response like this, ever.
If you had to say which song out of these were going to go viral, which song do you think that would be?
It's a song called For Real on there. I think that got a good chance. And I got a song called F You on there. Take it how you want. But out of those two, those are probably one of the ones that go viral for sure.
Okay, how does it go? How does it go a little bit?
I don't know if this is good for TV.
Well, hum it. Just hum the.
Okay, I sampled Snoop Dogg and Akon's.
Okay.
Song. When they be like, I see you whining
got
and
you.
grinding.
Yeah, got you. Okay, so I want to know this. When you go in the booth and you go in the studio and you're writing everything down, do you create a song specifically for TikTok, like to go viral on TikTok?
I think I've gotten to that point where I definitely have that in the back of my mind because I went viral a few times on TikTok. But no, I just like to go make music, and I don't try to put any type of expectations on it.
Yeah, because I feel like that's something that a lot of artists do nowadays.
You know?
They create TikTok music.
And that's because that TikTok pays the best, and if you blow up on TikTok, you're good everywhere.
How much did you make from that? Did you make any money from that at all?
Oh, I made some money for sure.
Okay. Like hundreds?
Uncle Sam watching?
You're like, get out of my pockets, please.
Okay. No. I made some good. I made some money that a lot of people can say they haven't made, not doing their career, their work, their music, their basketball, football, whatever. I made a lot of money for sure.
I feel like what would be great for you is if you team up with whoever made that dance. and y'all get together
I gotta find
and
them.
make some sort of TikTok, some video or whatnot.
Absolutely. I gotta find them for sure.
All right, Polo Frost, tell us all the things where we can find the album, where we can connect with you, all of that.
It Was All a Blur is out now on all platforms, Apple Music, Spotify, wherever you listen to your music. I am Polo Frost, Polofrost. You can find me on YouTube, Instagram. Not really a TikToker, but the music goes on there, so I'm there.
Not really a
and
TikToker.
We actually just dropped a video called Yerk on YouTube today, so go check that out.
All right. Polo, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Well, the movers and shakers and policymakers making their presence known at Mackinac Island. A look into the Detroit mayoral debate up next. Welcome back to Fox 2 Detroit Live. You are looking live at Grand Prix. I'm not sure if we can hear anything that's happening out there, but cars are already out there zooming on by. There's one. We can hear it a little bit, but be quiet for a second. And here's another one. Let's see. Yeah, you can hear that one too. Cool stuff. Lots of fun happening downtown Detroit this weekend. Well, the movers and shakers and policymakers making their presence known on Mackinac Island. Now, among the many events at the Grand Hotel was a Detroit mayoral debate. It features 5 candidates, one major topic, public safety. Here's a look.
We need a robust mental health strategy, partnering with DWIN, who I can't wait to continue to work with James White on to ensure that we're addressing people who have mental health crises, that they get the treatment that they need, or not arrested for things in which they need actual treatment for.
We need to partner with the schools to create job opportunities and career pathways for people from cradle to career and beyond. And yes, we need community policing to be a philosophy, not just a few officers walking the beat.
We talk about trust. When I got here in 2013, there was absolutely no trust in the Detroit Police Department. However, it changed. It changed because we start working very deep in our communities and building those kind of relationships.
On Detroit City Council, I chair numerous task force, the Gun Violence Task Force, the Retiree Task Force, Disability Task Force, as well as the Returning Citizens Task Force. I chair Budget, Finance, and Audit, and I'm Vice Chair of Planning. So when we talk about leadership, it is specifically about delivering.
My administration would be a we administration and not a me administration. We need to stop inviting constituents to the table after we come up with a plan. They need to be a part of the creation of the plan.
Now, those are just some of the candidates who will be on the ballot for the August primary. Detroiters will elect a new mayor this November. Of course, they're hoping to replace Mayor Mike Duggan. He's running for governor as an independent. Duggan joined businessman Dan Gilbert for a discussion about the riverfront, the RenCen, and a massive development for the city of Detroit.
I think at the end of the day, what you are doing on the riverfront with the Renaissance Center, if you pull that off, it will be the biggest accomplishment for the city. So we got a ways to go, but it's going to be it.
You know, as soon as you want to do something with the Renaissance Center, all of a sudden everybody loves the Renaissance Center. True. Best buildings I've ever seen in my life.
I said, have you walked through there? All the stores are closed. What are you guys talking about?
But look at that architecture.
Our problem is that it is so far away from the entire hotbed going up Woodward. Who would want to be there? And he came back and he said, I've got it. What if we built a Navy pier on that big empty parking lot next to it? So now the Renaissance Center itself is at the center of things. Dan's vision to build a Navy pier on the waterfront is what's making this Renaissance Center plan possible.
Now, besides the riverfront, those two had a lot to talk about. There's much more on the Mackinac Policy Conference on our website, fox2detroit.com. Well, same prescription drug, but very different prices. That's the finding of a report into hospitals in Michigan. The Michigan Health Purchasers Coalition took a look at several fairly common drugs. Humira is a drug used to treat autoimmune disease. And at the Henry Ford Health Hospital in Rochester, one dose costs more than $2,700. Now, that same drug, same dose, same Henry Ford Hospital system in Jackson, it costs nearly $16,000. That's a huge difference. Now, across the Corewell Health System, you would pay more than $5,000 per dose in Royal Oak or Troy than you would in Grand Rapids. On GoodRx, the telehealth site, Humira costs $550. The report looked at prices at 53 Michigan hospitals. Wow, that variance is absolutely insane. Well, the White House acknowledging problems in the Health and Human Services. Secretary Robert F. Kennedy's Make America Healthy Again report. Fox News Ted Linder has the details.
MAHA's become hot. But now MAHA is landing in some hot water. It stands for Make America Healthy Again, a Trump administration commission chaired by Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. We've built an unstoppable coalition. Last week, President Trump and Secretary Kennedy released the first Make America Healthy Again report. It's a document spearheaded by Kennedy that outlines health issues the administration wants to address, including rising rates of childhood illnesses, vaccine schedules, pesticide use, and more. Over the next 80 days, the commission will build on its work in this report to develop a roadmap to bold and transformative public health reforms. But on Thursday, the White House said it's working to fix errors in the report. According to an investigation by news organization Notice, out of more than 500 studies cited in the report, 7 did not appear to have ever been published.
I understand there were some formatting issues with the MAHA report that are being addressed, and the report will be updated, but it does not negate the substance of the report, which, as you know, is one of the most transformative health reports that has ever been released by the federal government and is backed on good science that has never been recognized by the federal government.
Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says the development hasn't shaken the White House's faith in Kennedy.
We have complete confidence in Secretary Kennedy and his team at HHS.
The MAHA report is meant to help the Trump administration develop future policy recommendations. Ted Lindner, Fox 2 News.
All right, well, Stellantis is giving us a new look at its brand new Jeep Cherokee. Fans and dealers have been waiting a long time, ever since the last Cherokee rolled off the line more than 2 years ago. So let's just cut to it. Here it is. The new model will have more of a boxy-like appearance. It'll have a gas-electric option. Stellantis generally sells more than 200,000 of these mid-sized SUVs per year in the United States. The new Cherokee will arrive sometime late this year. It'll be built in Mexico, and prices will range a little less than $30,000 for that basic model, all the way to around $40,000 for the fully loaded variety. Well, your morning cup of coffee from Starbucks may cost you a little bit more, and that's thanks to a major rewards change. Starbucks says starting June 24th, it's changing its reward points system. Starbucks says it will no longer offer 25 bonus stars for every order placed with reusable cups. Instead, customers will receive double stars on the entire order, but it'll cost you $12.50 minimum to get them. Boo. That's horrible. Now, the coffee giant is trying to restructure its deals in order to raise profits. Aren't they all? Well, Jo-Ann Fabric and Crafts will close all of its remaining stores in the next 48 hours. The company has been winding down operations after seeking Chapter 11 bankruptcy for the second time and has been holding going out of business sales at its stores since early March. All stores will be closed permanently today and tomorrow, bringing an end to more than 80 years in business. At the beginning of the year, Jo-Ann's had 35 locations across Michigan and nearly 800 across the U.S. Well, it's renowned by people around the world, and while Mount Everest is a natural wonder, criticism is growing over the unfavorable conditions climbers say puts them and the mountain at risk. Now, I'm not sure if we have this story that I'm talking about. Here it is. It's Fox News' Chris DeMeo.
Everest is the tallest mountain in the world. But the future of this iconic landmark and the safety of future climbers are growing gloomy. This as hikers continue expressing frustration over dirty and crowded conditions.
It has become too commercialized.
Looking to make a difference, Nepal's government addressed those concerns this week at a special conference, citing their duty to protect the Himalayas from climate change and the impact of humans. Last year, government officials funded a team to remove 24,000 pounds of garbage from Everest. The Everest climbing season ends this month. This year, a little under 500 people from 57 countries were given permits to go. Each one costs $11,000 and is good for 90 days.
The feeling is that if there is money, then Everest can be climbed. But not all the people there are physically and emotionally ready to climb the peak. That is being disrespectful to Everest.
Critics say inexperienced people can put lives at risk and create traffic jams on the mountain.
It can be controlled, but what we need to do is make sure that those amount of people are all experienced in the mountaineering world.
Meanwhile, as collective minds explored possible solutions, celebrations Thursday honor the 72nd year since a hiker from New Zealand and his Sherpa became the first people to reach the summit of Everest back in 1953. Chris DeMeo, Fox News.
All right. I love that we are raising awareness for Mount Everest there, and because there really is a lot of stuff at the top of the mountain. So it's good that we're taking the chance to clean it up. All right. Here's a weather update from Derek Evra.
The weekend does look pretty good, but we do have a few things to contend with, and the first one is an air quality alert that is affecting pretty much the entire state of Michigan as we move through the afternoon. So let's take a look at that and talk a little bit about where we are expected to, what we're expected to see with this air quality alert. Goes till 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. That is Saturday morning. If you are somebody who typically suffers when the air quality gets bad, whether it is a ozone alert or in this case from the wildfire smoke up in Canada, today might be one of those days, especially as we move more into those later afternoon, early evening hours, that we could potentially be dealing with some of that unhealthy air. So unhealthy for people with heart disease, older adults, children, to try to limit those outdoor activities as that smoke continues to push in from the north. That is from Canada, by the way, way up near like Manitoba, Saskatchewan. That's where all that smoke is coming from as those fires continue to burn. And we'll probably see more of that as we move through the summer. But as far as how long it will impact us, probably just through the day on Friday with better air quality as we move into Saturday and Sunday. Okay, temperatures are going to start to drop, though, as we move into the weekend, because we do have a cold front that's going to come through tonight. That cold front's going to bring another chance for some showers and thunderstorms, and you may be sitting there going, another chance for rain? Feels like it's rained all month. Well, you know, you're not wrong. Now, we've had some pretty long stretches where it does seem like it's rained. Early in the month, it rained 4 days in a row. We had a nice 3-day stretch in here, the middle of the month, and then followed by 3 more days. So for the month as a whole, about every other day it's rained, about 50% of the month. And today's going to be one of those days where we do get another chance of it, and it's going to notably happen in those evening hours, 7, 8, 9 o'clock. You see those rain chances begin to jump up into that 24% chance, and then they start falling off after that. So rain kind of tapers off, comes to an end as we do move overnight. Temperatures warming up into the 70s. We do have a nice day out there for us. Still a bit of a breeze, so I would say comfortable for a lot of different locations as we see that high near 77 degrees. 67 on Saturday. By Sunday, we'll go 72, mostly sunny skies. Saturday will be a little bit cooler. The reason for that is because that wind is going to be blowing around 10 to 20 miles per hour. So at the 60s, that's a cool breeze. So just keep that in mind. 77 degrees out there for today. There's the rain off to the north, and these rain showers are going to drop down. So that is what's going to bring us that chance for some rain as we move into the evening. Again, 7, 8, 9 o'clock. That's our best opportunity to see those rain showers as the skies get a little bit cloudier moving in. It could also be a rumble of thunder. That is not out of the question. Saturday, Sunday, we'll see that cooler weather before that summer heat comes in full effect into next week. A couple of days in the upper 80s.
All right, well, there is a lot happening in the world of sports, plus some news from the Detroit Lions. Super excited to talk about that with Woody Woodruff right after the break. Welcome back to Fox 2 Detroit Live. Now, let's talk about sports. And we have none other than Woody Woodruff here to talk about it. We got Grand Prix Lions, maybe some other things too. Woody, happy Friday.
Oh, thanks a lot. I really appreciate that. You know, I was going to do this with my glasses on and make it look all serious, but you know what? Forget it. Let's just wing it. You know, what do you want to talk about first? Grand Prix?
Let's talk about Grand Prix.
Grand Prix.
They're getting started today. Something happened at 3 o'clock.
There is qualifying going on downtown on the streets of Detroit today. Qualifying for the Detroit Grand Prix. It's going to be a big race weekend here in the Motor City. Lots of drivers, lots of fans on hand. And of course, you know, it's always a good time to see motor racing here in the city. This is a big deal. Alex Palou right now is dominating the IRL circuit right now, winning, I believe, 4 of the first 5 races. So he's looking like the big favorite. And of course, our coverage starts at 12:30, the race right here on Fox. But there's lots to see, lots to look at, and lots to race for this weekend down in Detroit, and it should be a great time. There's a few dark horses in the field. I mean, maybe somebody like Takuma Sato may step up. Joseph Newgarden, who had a fuel problem at the Indy 500 last week, he's itching to get back into contention right here for Team Penske. So there's a lot to look at, and a lot of guys really want a piece of the action at the end, and maybe see them in victory lane.
You know, Woody, something that I'm very curious about is how do you cover a sports race? I mean,
you mean like an auto race?
Yeah, like, you know, like it's just like, oh, this car number 12 is edging in front of car number 6. How do you cover something like that?
Well, you know, it's you can look at laps led and things like that, but you also have to look at you know, the small nuances in the race, like when guys get passed, or you know, if there's an accident or a wreck or something like that. A lot of times you can look at the lap time, the speed of the lap time, so you can clock a race that way. There's a lot of different ways to cover a race, but at the end, everybody always wants to talk to the winner and the winner's crew chief and see the trophy. So that's the big scene at the auto race. It's always the end.
Is it true that they're racing for about 4 hours?
Yeah, you know what? It doesn't seem like that, but yeah, they're in the car for a long time because, you know, you've got to start early to get yourself seated and make sure everything is right. And then the pit crew will go over a lot of the car and make sure that you're okay with all of the checkpoints that you need. So yeah, it's an intensive process, but again, like we said at the end,
but they get paid the big bucks. Right?
Well, yes, they do get paid the big bucks, and they get the big trophies too, and that's what we're going to hope to see on Sunday here in Detroit.
All right, something else that we're hoping to see is Aiden Hutchinson returning to the field, and I hear that may be in the cards this season.
Oh, Aiden's out there right now. I mean, that's the good part. I mean, you know, if anybody is concerned about how Aiden Hutchinson may come back from the injury that he suffered last year, the broken leg, he is under the watchful eyes of the Lions right now, so they can get a good look at what he's doing and how he's progressing and what else he needs to get done in order to get back to the top form he was. He's eager to get back to that form, so it's not like he's going to, say no to any kind of rehab or anything like that. Aiden Hutchinson is full speed ahead for this season, and that's good to see with the Lions because, of course, he was sorely missed last year with the team bowing out early in the playoffs, a lot earlier than we all thought that they would have.
Yeah, well, hopefully the team is ready to go, ready to get back out there. Those injuries, everyone's healed up because we got a season to win.
Yes, we do. And right now, learn some of those lessons right now. You've got some new coordinators, a little bit of a new system. So OTAs are the prime time place for everyone to get acclimated with all the stuff that's new for this team this year. And there will be some newness, even with some of the same cast of characters that we have seen for this team.
All right, Woody, do you want to mention anything about the Tigers?
Tigers looking good. How about that? Winners of 4 straight, looking for a 5th straight win tonight, starting a series in Kansas City against the Royals. Casey Mize getting the start. And, you know, this is a big start for Casey Mize because he's missed the last couple with a hamstring pull. So it's hopeful that he can come back and pick up right where he left off, and the Tigers can continue to win. Because right now, Kansas City bats are not getting it done. Right now, their pitching is good and their defense is good, but the bats have been a bit silent. And if Mize can continue to keep those bats silent, then the Tigers can win a 5th straight, and off we go with winning another series.
And that wouldn't be too left field for them, right? Because they have been kicking butt.
Yes, they have, and it's good to see. Let's hope the Tigers can continue exactly what they're doing, winning series and just plowing right along, just worrying about today's game, not looking ahead, not looking behind, just worrying about the present.
Love it. All right, Woody, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Well, right now we have a preview of what we know will be a weekend full of high speeds and roaring engines during the Detroit Grand Prix. And Scott Wolchuk, he takes us behind the wheel for a wild ride in downtown Detroit.
We're going on a hot lap right now down Jefferson Avenue. Take a look.
The thing I love about this track is it's like Gran Turismo. You've got Jefferson Avenue going 140 miles an hour against the red lights. It's really fun.
Fun is right. Testing out the 2.5-mile track for the Grand Prix in a CT5V Blackwing. Seeing just how fast we can go.
Good luck holding on.
Right away, we got in the car and all I said was, yeah, yeah, every turn, yeah.
The adrenaline was real, to say the least. Brian and Shauna won a raffle to take a trip on the track. They were riding in vets, hitting over 140 miles per hour.
It was awesome. I would go again. It was unlike anything. All the years driving on Jefferson, never at that speed and through red lights.
The biggest fun to me was coming fast into the turns and then downshifting down him, because he did a great job. Really a professional driver.
So professional, they put up with our jokes while driving.
Just like you're driving to work this morning. I wish. It would have been more fun, that's for sure.
A total blast and a unique opportunity to feel like an IndyCar driver.
Oh, a lot of twists and turns. Those hairpin turns on turn, I believe, 4 or 5 were great. Just a great experience overall.
It was Kyle's first time on the track like that, but he's volunteered with the Grand Prix for 4 years.
It's the people, really. It's just great to see old friends as volunteers, as well as making sure all of our fans are having an amazing time.
So come on down as Grand Prix weekend kicks off, especially if you've got the need for speed. All right, so that's the first turn. Woo! Scott Wolchuk, Fox 2 News.
Wow. Yeah, Scotty out there having all the fun while me and Tom are just stuck in the house.
Stuck inside.
I don't like that, but good for you. That was fun. That was fun. And you know, Fox 2 is home for your Grand Prix coverage. We'll be live all weekend long. All you gotta do is tune in wherever you watch Fox 2, online or on the TV, for continuing coverage. We'll have interviews, all the things for you lined up. The Grand Prix itself, Sunday, 12:30, and you can watch that right here on Fox 2, nowhere else. All right, well, prosecutors are wrapping up week 3 in the sex trafficking trial of Sean Diddy Combs. Multiple people have taken the stand at this point, but one of the latest to take the stand is his former assistant. She testified under the pseudonym Mia, and she testified that Diddy sexually assaulted her multiple times during her 8-year tenure, adding that Cassie was not around when it happened. The first time the abuse happened, Mia alleged, was at Diddy's 40th birthday party, explaining that he forcibly kissed her and pushed his hand up her dress. She also claimed the rapper forced her to perform oral sex while she helped him pack for a trip, and raped her at his Los Angeles home in 2010 after climbing into her bed. She said she couldn't tell him no because he would ruin her life, and added that if she weren't called to testify, she would have bottled up those secrets forever. Now, today we were expecting a woman going by the name of Jane, that's her pseudonym. She is expected to participate in this whole thing, and I guess she was a part of Diddy's so-called freak-offs. Now, before testimony resumed this morning, the judge discussed with the defense getting more time with Diddy outside of trial hours. Defense attorneys say the team doesn't have enough time with him because of the jail restrictions. The judge did not make a ruling. And now, in prison, former rap mogul Marion Suge Knight, he's urging Combs to get up on that stand. Knight said he believes Combs should humanize himself. That's the reason he's given for him to take the stand. Knight has resurfaced in headlines in recent weeks as several former employees of Combs mentioned the men's long-time rivalry. It's not clear yet whether Combs will take the stand. Experts said that taking the stand, it can be seen as a pretty risky move for defendants because it can open them up to bruising a cross-examination. And we've seen that with cases right here in the local area, right here in the Metro Detroit area. Now, meanwhile, Cassie Ventura is now a boy mom. I think we're going to get to that, right? Yeah, let's get to that one. And then we got the next one, too. And then we'll get to Cassie, hopefully. Maybe not. Okay. But she welcomed baby number 3 with her husband, Alex Fine, almost 2 weeks after testifying in Diddy's criminal trial. Congratulations. Ventura and Diddy were in an on and off again relationship for a decade, during which she says she was abused and sexually assaulted. All right, now let's talk about Justin Bieber, because he's been no stranger to the media lately, and with so many people wondering what's going on with him, this latest Instagram post is only adding to that speculation. Now, he posted a series of photos on Instagram yesterday with the caption, "Gonna be a good summer." One of those photos was this cute picture of his baby boy. You can't really see him here, but he's wearing those plaid shorts or whatnot. Now, pay attention to the shorts, because this wouldn't normally be an issue, except he also posted these photos online. Now, he's wearing the exact same outfit in the photo on the right, and that is a little bit of something rolled up and just smoke in between them, him and his friend. And then on the left, he's holding that same something. Now, people are questioning if the baby is safe, and some people are saying, well, aren't parents allowed to partake in all of this? Especially where it's legal. But the photos comes after this performance. All right, now at first glance, doesn't look too bad, but then he starts to get lower and lower and lower. Eventually, SZA has to come over and lift his head up, because he's maybe about to Fenty fold right there on himself. He seems to be out of it a little bit. Let us know what you think. Do you think JB was out of it here or no? Because at first glance, it kind of looks like some romance type situation. But is it though? Is it? Let us know. Hashtag Fox2 Detroit Live. All right, well, happy weekend. Happy Friday. I'm Bree Teamer. I'm going to have a great weekend. I hope you have a great weekend. And Rob Wolchuk's going to take you all the way to 5 o'clock.
And thanks for joining us. It's Friday, May 30th, and I'm your host, Rob Walchek, and you're watching Fox 2 Detroit live at 4.
Live from the Fox 2 newsroom, this is Fox 2 Detroit.
It's the weekend racing fans have been waiting for. The Detroit Grand Prix kicking off today and running through Sunday. Here's a live look over Detroit at the action happening right now. Lots of people will be heading to Detroit for the event. That includes our own Lauren Edwards. She joins us live with more on what's happening there. Hi, Lauren. How are you?
How are you? Actually, how was your son? He was the one that was in one of these cars yesterday, right? Wasn't he?
Yeah.
Didn't he do a lap and stuff? Is he okay?
Yeah, he was racing around. He is going crazy out there. What's going on out there now? Everybody getting all ready?
Well, you know, Scott kicked the party off. And look at this thing right here. I'm going to step out of the way. This is what we're seeing. There are shiny new toys everywhere. Such nice, shiny toys everywhere. Now, we already spoke to the folks over at Ford. Great, beautiful toys there. But all up and down here, you got all the big guys. Honda, Cadillac, Porsche. Just stuff I know I can't afford. But it's all for the Grand Prix that's going to be happening all weekend long. You know, it kicked off today. You got fun events all day tomorrow. And then next day, I think for today, though, we got the qualifying coming up. Look at that. Like, that's just artwork. That's not even a vehicle. That's just pure, beautiful artwork. But, yeah, there's a qualifying race today, I think, at 4:50. Tomorrow, there's a big race at 3:20. And then on Sunday is the big, big, big one. So much going on, so much to do. Because here's the thing. If you can't go watch it, the thing is there's 3 areas where they're doing Fan Fest. Myers got a spot, Hart Plaza, and also right in front of the Spirit of Detroit. There are shiny new toys over there. Of course, by toys, I mean cars. But it's so beautiful. I saw ones that I can't even afford. If I didn't have student loans, I could probably go. But it was really cool. Family fun, a lot of food, so much you could do. And it's free. It's free, so Rob, you got to come.
You know, you like to mention those student loans. We got to help you out with those student loans. I think the last time we were talking about those student loans. My God, man, we got to get those student loans paid off so you can afford one of those race cars.
I play the lottery. I'm thinking if I could just like steal one of these beautiful shiny new toys and I can kind of sell it and then I can get some of the money to go get loans. Tom's supposed to help me, but Tom don't be helping me.
I'm gonna start a GoFundMe.
Yeah, Tom's no help. Yeah, I got student loans to pay off too, so I got student loans for one of my kids, so I get you. Now listen. How much does it cost? Like if I wanted to go down there on Sunday and watch the race, I have no idea because I've never been to the race other than covering it. But I mean, like as a spectator, if I wanted to come down, I don't know. Do you know the answer to that? How much does it cost?
So but what do you want though? If you just want to come out and be with the fans, that's free. That's just fun.
Okay.
But if you want to get inside and you want to get close, there's tickets where you can get in. But then there's tickets, it's like $500 tickets if you want to get the full shebang of the food, the drinks, getting close up to the race. Like, you could do that.
Well, what about if I just wanted to come and watch and, like, take the cheap seats? I mean, can you get in? Is there, like, a $50 ticket? Like, if I wanted to take my wife down and, hey, let's spend the day and watch the thing.
So there's those tickets, but there's also packages. Here's a fun thing. There's a parking garage that's literally to my left. People, this is really smart. They parked all the way at the top. They just got chairs and they're just looking down. So I'm assuming that's going to only cost the price of parking. I think that's pretty cool. You can bring your food, you can bring your water, go ahead and bring your beer. It's a good time.
All right, sounds like fun. You're going to be out there all night tonight?
I'm going to work and have fun and go to sleep.
All right. Okay. Well, thank you, Lauren. Have fun out there with all those beautiful toys, and I'll put a bug in Tom's ear to help you out with those student loans.
Of course. Tom better help me.
That's it. I'm going to start a GoFundMe.
All right. All right. Tom's the man. Tom will help you out. All right. Have fun out there, Lauren. Thank you.
Thank you. All
right. Bye-bye. Hey, with big events like the Grand Prix, you can bet there's going to be a lot of dollars attached to it. And speaking of that, Fox 2's Tanisha Cornell has a look at the economic impact this is expected to have.
Get ready, set, go.
It's going to be a great day downtown.
The 35th annual Detroit Grand Prix is here.
So we've got 3 great racing series competing all weekend long. We got a lot of fan activities. We got concerts on Saturday.
A roaring enduring weekend for everyone.
I think the energy since we moved back downtown starting in 2023 has just been off the charts. I mean, it's grown every year.
And so has the Grand Prix' impact on Detroit's economy.
This is $78 million of direct impact to our economy, $150 million of indirect. So you think about the bars, the restaurants, the travel, just all the brick and mortar retail stores, they're all touched by an event like this.
And those businesses from each city district are getting in on the action up close.
Go visit Small Business Straightaway. Some of our favorite neighborhood businesses are here along Woodward.
The Straightaway helping Detroit's diverse and minority-owned entrepreneurs drive sales and connect with a global audience.
And millions of people around the world are watching Detroit through an amazingly perfect lens. I mean, this weekend shows Detroit in a way that you just sort of, if you haven't been here, you don't think of.
The speed and thrill, not only entertaining, but also a welcoming gesture to those looking for a new home.
Events like this demonstrate Detroit as not only a welcoming, but an exciting, a dynamic, and a place that's ready to receive you.
Well, if you're coming out to check out the Grand Prix this weekend, you have the opportunity to watch some of the racing for free from at least 6 platforms along East Jefferson. No ticket needed. Again, for free. We've got more details for you online at fox2detroit.com. For now, I'm Tanisha reporting Fox 2 News.
Yeah, see that? Tanisha answered the question. You can watch it for free. 150,000 people are expected to attend the 3-day event, which of course means safety is a top priority. There will be barricades and fencing surrounding the track. Police officers will be in uniform and undercover officers will be there too. Firefighters will be working crowd control and monitoring air quality.
Fire operations will have 2 engines that will be strategically located on either sides of the track so they can respond accordingly. If necessary, we'll also have our hazmat team will be doing air quality monitoring.
We strongly encourage, we kind of demand that you leave the speeding on the racetrack out here. Again, with the density that we will have of people walking through our streets, slow those vehicles down.
And in addition to slowing down, remember, Michigan is a hands-free state, so no using phones or other devices behind the wheel. Officials say no guns or knives are allowed either. And if you're planning on going downtown this weekend, there are some traffic notes you're going to want to keep in mind. Fox 2's Kelly Rowe has those details.
The Detroit Grand Prix is finally here, which means road closures. We got to get through them. So, of course, Jefferson is closed right along the riverfront towards that area until June 6th because they'll need to take it down next week. For drivers on 375, they'll have to exit at Lafayette until June 2nd on Monday. But for now, you won't be able to use Jefferson unless you have a pass for that. Also closed is Woodward, all the way between Gratiot and Larned. So that's kind of the stretch of things and campus marshes around there. Expect those roads to be closed. Pedestrians can still use them, but Atwater also closed as well. All of that until June 2nd. Again, think of it like the NFL draft. So the Detroit People Mover and Q Line are both free, so you can use those and park far away and kind of shuttle in, as well as a free shuttle service. You'll find that within the venue with stations you can get to, and they'll help you get around with golf carts. Also, Mogo bikes are available. Remember those bikes, they're red. There's 620 of them at 75 stations across Metro Detroit. You can use those to kind of wheel yourself in, and you have an app you can use for those. Speaking of apps, Park Detroit app, you can reserve parking at garages and lots, and you can also use the Find My Car option that offers walking directions back to your vehicle. So a ton of ways to get around. You can find real-time traffic conditions on the way down on our Fox 2 weather app if you need it.
And we'll have much more from the Grand Prix over the next few hours, including live reports from our Lauren Edwards and other race-related events happening in the city. You can also check out our coverage at fox2detroit.com, and be sure to check out the big race on Sunday. It starts at 12:30. You can watch it all right here on Fox 2 Detroit. Heads up to what you may be changing. You may be wanting to change your passwords after a massive hack exposed more than 184 million of them. According to new reports from cybersecurity researcher Jeremiah Fowler, that leak affected everything from Apple and Google usernames and passwords to social media logins and bank accounts, a range of Microsoft products, logins, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. They were all compromised, along with the governmental portal and health services account data. Fowler hasn't confirmed exactly how the data was collected, but he says there's a lot of evidence pointing to info-stealing malware. We'll have more information on our website, fox2detroit.com. I hate those web breaches, Tom. I'm not into that. I know. That makes me mad. Hey, we've got a developing situation unfolding outside the Meridian Mall outside Lansing. Police say around 1:30 this afternoon, they responded to a reported shooting in a parking lot near Dick's Sporting Goods. They have not said if there are any victims, but they say the mall is open for business with a portion of the parking lot closed for investigation. Meridian police are asking anyone with information to give them a call. We'll continue to follow this story and pass along updates as we get them. Fox 2 Detroit. We'll be back right after the break. And we are taking a live look at some race cars. Look at those Indy cars going. Can you see it over there on the right-hand side of your screen? Those are my car sound effects, Stephanie. You like that? Fast cars. Hey, welcome back to Fox 2 Detroit Live. Disturbing for many and fascinating for some, the cicada. I hope I'm saying that right. The cicada invasion is back for much of the eastern U.S. The large brood 14 is a type of the bug that emerges every 13 to 17 years and makes for quite the spectacle as billions emerge from the ground in states like Georgia, Ohio, Kentucky, and New York. Cicadas emerge when wet ground temps hit 64 to 65 degrees, and once they're out, they stick around for about a month, depending on the weather. This brood is referred to as a keystone brood, a categorization based on their pattern rather than biological traits. And cicadas look like something, Stephanie's over there saying, ew, ew. Not into the cicada, huh, Steph?
No, back in Chicago, that's where my family lives. They had it last year, and they are disgusting, and they just fall on you, and they are very loud. It's not a fun time.
I don't know if I've ever seen them before.
They're
I mean, I grew up
gross.
in California, and we didn't have anything weird like that, and we don't really have them in Michigan. But
No. Well,
do
we
we
do.
have them?
Yeah, but when it gets really
Well,
hot, you hear them in the trees.
Oh.
I mean, we had some kind of weird bugs that dig into the ground. No, not grubs. They're but they're big and ugly and scary like that. I don't think they're cicadas. I don't know what they are, but anyways, we don't have to worry about that. Just don't go to Ohio, Kentucky, New York, or whatever, Boondock State, Georgia. Well, I can get away with saying that.
Okay.
Don't go down there. You don't want to be around.
Well, especially in the summer months, why are you heading south? You want to head north,
That's
where it's
right.
not as
Say,
warm.
don't go there because not only is it hot and sweaty down there,
you're gonna have bugs falling on you.
Yeah, you're going to have bugs falling on you, and we don't like those cicadas.
No.
Hey, the weather is looking pretty good, Steph. I got to say, I took my afternoon walk today.
Wonderful.
It was very pleasant, and I didn't have to wear a sweatshirt. I actually might have even gotten a little perspiration going.
Yeah, it's a warm day out there. Temps are in the mid-70s. We were seeing a lot of sunshine. This is a live look over the city of Detroit, and you can see those clouds off in the distance there, which will eventually give us the potential for a few showers. We also have an air quality alert until 6 o'clock early tomorrow morning. Just because we're dealing with some Canadian wildfire smoke that is moving into the state of Michigan. Eventually that will subside though as early as tomorrow. And the amount of smoke that it's emitting, it's not going to impact a whole lot of folks. I don't think you're going to notice if you don't have asthma or if you have any other underlying health problems. But if you have asthma or any other type of illness, you might be a little bit more sensitive to the air quality outside. Here's what we're looking at in terms of our smoke. Otherwise, a good bulk of that's going to be over us through the later part of this evening. Overnight, as winds shift out of the north and west with this cold front, a lot of that's going to be diverted out of the state. There might be a little bit of smoke if you're heading out to western parts of the state this upcoming weekend. Some of it could inch closer to southeast Michigan, but nothing, I don't think, that will warrant an air quality alert moving forward. Otherwise, temperatures today and right now are in the 70s. A little bit cooler where we are seeing some active showers from Mount Pleasant and points westward. And that's where we're, again, currently seeing some of these showers. Some of them are developing up near northern Macomb County and out near parts of St. Clair County and Sanilac County. We have some heavier showers situated just north and west of us here, and that will eventually slide on in. Maybe a clap of thunder, nothing severe associated with this cold front that does move through. We're seeing severe weather well south of us into parts of West Virginia and the Carolinas. So here's our Fox Futurecast model through about 9 o'clock. Most of that's well out of here at this point, so it's going to be a quick hitter. If you have plans that take you out and about later on tonight, just be prepared to see a brief window of showers. It should be cleared out of here by late tonight. Early tomorrow morning, we wake up to some cloud cover, and then it should dissipate as we head through the afternoon Saturday. Sunday's looking like a near perfect day for us here across the state. So really, in the grand scheme of things, it's not going to be that bad of a weekend. Temps will cool through the 50s tonight, 52 tonight. Our rain chances will most certainly begin to diminish at that point, and then highs tomorrow will be in the lower 70s. Breezy and a little cooler as we head through the day on Saturday. It's going to take a bit before we get to about 70 degrees. We're in the low 70s by Sunday. And then by Monday, we're approaching almost 80 degrees. So we're seeing more so of that summertime heat. Just in time for June itself. We start June on Sunday, so June 2nd, we're talking temperatures almost near 80. We're dry, too, as we head through a good bulk of this weekend. So Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, I don't think we're running into any issues. It's really not until Wednesday where we see our next chance for a few showers, maybe a few rumbles of thunder. Heat's going to begin to build with that, too. So heat, maybe slight humidity. Nothing oppressive, but I think you'll notice that around as we head through the first half of the week. And then we'll have our second system of next week impact us in terms of showers, but then also knock temperatures down just a little bit here. It's not going to be a huge swing in temps, but I do think we return to near seasonal right behind that system midweek. This weekend, not bad. 70 degrees Saturday, Sunday, we're at 73. Our temperatures will continue to warm Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So we'll be well into the 80s by Tuesday afternoon. High of about 85, low 80s Wednesday and Thursday. And then by Friday, we're a bit closer to seasonal with our next chance of rain as well. Overnight lows look great. We'll be in the low to middle 60s through about Thursday morning. And our temperatures should then return to near seasonal by Friday with shower chances still in the mix for us by the end of next week.
Okay, so I'm going to get specific here now. So tonight, so I'm heating my pool. As you know, I've had a little bit of problems trying to get in my pool because of the lousy weather you gave us last week.
It was pretty bad.
Yes, and now I'm heating my pool today. So I'm hoping to get home tonight and get in my pool so I can finish cleaning it. I got to vacuum out the stuff. When is this rain coming?
It should be here within the next hour and a half. So what time are you planning on going home?
Yeah, I'll probably be home 7:38.
Yeah, I think by that time there might be a lingering shower around, but most of it's going to be gone at that point. It's just going to be damp. So I think you should be okay.
Yeah, okay. And it's going to be pretty warm, right? So
I think lows probably bottoming out in the lower 50s. So I do think you still have time later on tonight to get that done.
So if I jump in the pool at 8 o'clock tonight, what is the weather going to be? How specific? Come on, let's go. You're a professional meteorologist.
I think you'll be okay.
You know, you've been right every time.
Okay. Well, hopefully you don't get caught in the rain in the pool.
Yeah, well, that's fine. A little bit of sprinkling will be
I think you'll be fine, though.
All right. Well, thank you very much. And are you done for the day?
I'm done with you for the day. I got to go do the evenings
are you all
for tonight.
Night tonight?
I am, yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll watch you tonight.
All right. Have a good weekend, Rob.
Thank you very much,
Bye.
Stephanie. Bye. It's renowned by people around the world, and while Mount Everest is a natural wonder, criticism is growing over unfavorable conditions climbers say puts them and the mountain at risk. Fox's Chris DeMeo has a look at what's being done to protect both.
We'll get there in just a second, Rob.
All right.
Everest is the tallest mountain in the world. But the future of this iconic landmark and the safety of future climbers are growing gloomy. This as hikers continue expressing frustration over dirty and crowded conditions.
It has become too commercialized.
Looking to make a difference, Nepal's government addressed those concerns this week at a special conference, citing their duty to protect the Himalayas from climate change and the impact of humans. Last year, government officials funded a team to remove 24,000 pounds of garbage from Everest. The Everest climbing season ends this month. This year, a little under 500 people from 57 countries were given permits to go. Each one costs $11,000 and is good for 90 days.
The feeling is that if there is money, then Everest can be climbed. But not all the people there are physically and emotionally ready to climb the peak. That is being disrespectful to Everest.
Critics say inexperienced people can put lives at risk and create traffic jams on the mountain.
It can be controlled, but what we need to do is make sure that those amount of people are all experienced in the mountaineering world.
Meanwhile, as collective minds explored possible solutions, celebrations Thursday honor the 72nd year since a hiker from New Zealand and his Sherpa became the first people to reach the summit of Everest back in 1953. Chris DeMeo, Fox News.
So, Tom, you ever done any mountain climbing?
I have no interest in doing that at all.
Yeah, I climbed up like a 12,000 foot tall mountain in California as a young man.
Did you really?
Yeah, I did. Anyways, after the break, it's the site of a former state psychiatric hospital, but now it will serve as home base for local first responders. We'll have a closer look at the new headquarters in Northville. New developments in a disturbing case of murder and child abuse we've been following since March of last year. A Detroit woman who threw boiling water on an autistic toddler's face and smashed her head into a bathtub has learned her punishment. 30-year-old Aisha Harris, sentenced to 28 to 50 years after pleading guilty to second-degree murder. It was an extremely emotional day in court as the family of the 3-year-old Harmon Henderson faced her killer. They trusted Harris to look after the little girl last March, but she murdered her instead.
Baby threw a picture. Look at my baby. She's so precious. She ain't did nothing to nobody. I never get to see her. Then she get to talk to her baby on the phone. I can't talk to my baby on the phone. I gotta look at videos and pictures of my baby. I love my baby.
Harmony was alive for at least a few hours after the abuse, but her babysitter never called 911 and told the mom she'd fallen down the stairs. The babysitter apologized in a statement that her lawyer read to the courtroom, but she didn't say anything herself. Detroit police are looking for information after shots were fired in the parking lot of Martin Luther King High School on East Lafayette. This happened around 8:30 last night. Police say several teens were there at the time, but nobody was hurt. They're now looking to speak to the person of interest. If you have any information on this person, call the Detroit Police or Crime Stoppers at 1-800-SPEAK UP. 5 kittens crying for help after a woman dropped them off on the doorstep of a motel in East Point while they're being cared for by Animal Rescue. Now, investigators are still looking for answers. East Point Animal Control thankful to find an adult cat that can nurse the babies. But since that mom is nursing other kittens, they're constantly fighting over food. The kittens are doing better, but officials say they still have a long road to recovery.
Abandoned animals this young that require that much care, they can't fend themselves, they can't do anything, they would have died.
Security video shows the woman banging on a door at an Eastland motel in East Point Wednesday morning. If you recognize her or happen to know where the mom of the kittens may be, you're asked to call East Point Animal Control a call. Northville Township is celebrating the opening of its new public safety headquarters, located at the site of the former Northville State Psychiatric Hospital on 6 Mile and Sheldon Road. The 65,000 square foot building now houses a police station and a second fire station. The fire chief says it will dramatically reduce its response time on the community's east side.
Our goal is to have a travel time to emergencies of less than 6 minutes. With our single fire station, we achieve that about 50% of the time. With the opening the second fire station, we achieve 6 minutes or less 96% of the time. So the improvement in response times is absolutely remarkable, and we've already shaved over a minute off of our average response times in the past 2 weeks of operating out of this station.
This is the first of 4 buildings set to open this year on the new complex. A new Department of Public Works headquarters and Northville Parks and Recreation building will be unveiled this summer. From political guardrail to the race for the political office and that possible pardon in the governor kidnapping plot. We're touching on just some of the things discussed up in Mackinac this year at the policy conference. We'll have more on that coming back. All right, and we are giving you a live look. That is the Raceway downtown for the Detroit Grand Prix. You know, I may ask you a question on the Grand Prix here, Rube, just because you're an intellectual kind of guy and you're a smart guy. And I had a question for the producer. She didn't know either. Nobody seems to know, but I think Rube may actually know. What do you think, Rube?
What a setup. I mean,
yeah, no, I'm setting you up.
I'm stuck.
I'm setting you up.
I want to disappoint a lot of people here. Go ahead.
Okay, well, hang on. I got to read a story first,
okay,
all right?
Go ahead. Do
Elon Musk officially said goodbye to the Department of Government Efficiency, or Doge. He held a joint press conference with President Trump a short time ago where he was awarded a gold-colored key for his work in Doge to address spending and fraud. His allegations, as well as other financial matters. Elon Musk says that although he's leaving Doge, still has plenty of work to do.
It's the end of Doge, but really the beginning. My time as a special government employee necessarily had to end. It was a limited time thing. It's 134 days, I believe, which ends in a few days. So that it comes with a time limit. But the Doge team will only grow stronger over time. The Doge influence will only grow stronger. I'd liken it to sort of Buddhism. It's like a way of life. So it is permeating throughout the government, and I'm confident that over time we'll see $1 trillion of savings and a reduction in $1 trillion of waste and fraud reduction.
Doge was originally tasked with cutting $2 trillion from the federal government. The department's official website stated earlier this week that at this point around $175 billion have been saved. It's been a special week of special speaker presentations and chances for state leaders to discuss issues. We're talking about the Mackinac Policy Conference, and our Roop Raj joins us now after attending. You heard a lot of political things up there about political guardrails. Why don't you explain that for us, Roop?
Well, you know what? Here's the bottom line. What happens in Washington doesn't stay in Washington. And so many people are concerned about kind of the different effects of what could happen in D.C. and how it'll affect us here in Michigan. And it wasn't just the politicians. It was business leaders from across this state and really across the country who are here to talk about opportunity. How do you grow the auto industry in the midst of kind of the chaos of not knowing about the tariffs? The tariffs are on, then they're off, then they're reduced, then they're increased, then they're reduced again. Who are we fighting with? Who are we not? Which countries are we friends or foe with? All of these questions affect how businesses operate. And so from the presidents of banks to big companies to small businesses, there were people who are there to hear not just the politicians who are already in office, but those who want to run for office. Rob, I'm talking about all the people who are running for governor, all the people running for mayor of Detroit and that open Senate seat. So, yeah, plenty of talk on Mackinac Island. We had the chance to catch up with a lot of the leaders right there.
Yeah. Hey, so about the governor's race, I understand you got some insight. What's going on with that?
Well, I had the chance to speak with, so many of the candidates. Mayor Mike Duggan and I talked for a little while. Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson and I actually saw each other in the elevator as we were both heading down to a part of a conference and asked her how she's feeling. She said she's feeling great. Mayor Mike Duggan also doing the same. I think he said one of his biggest challenges that he's getting, he told me as he was just chatting, he said, one of the biggest challenges I have is people from up north and the west side are saying, you haven't stopped by my small town. You went to the other small towns. So his job, and Mr. Nesbitt, who you see here, Lieutenant Governor Garland Gilchrist, and all of these folks who are running for the governor, their job is to shake as many hands as possible, including Mr. Swanson here, the sheriff. And so it's going to be an interesting thing. They had to be there, all of these folks, to make sure that they talk to the business leaders who are in this state. Because you know what? Money talks, and they need to make sure that they have the financial backing for all their campaigns.
I would say that we have some pretty good candidates looking there. I mean, there's some smart people in there.
Really
some experienced people and some good people. So hopefully we'll find the finest person and have a good governor.
Yeah, that's important. The current governor also talked with Fox 2 about a number of things, including that potential pardon you're hearing from President Trump for the kidnappers who were convicted of kidnapping, plotting to kidnap Governor Gretchen Whitmer. And so it was an interesting conversation with her about why she said, hey, when President Trump was shot at on that terrible day last summer, she said, I was the first person, one of the first people on social media to condemn it. And I'm just asking essentially for the same kind of respect for the type of threat that she was dealing with. We also talked about whether or not she wants to run for president. And she said she's going to backpack with her husband and her dogs after she's done being the governor, and she's going to really think about it. But she did give us a little hint. She says, I'm 53 years old and I want to continue to contribute in some way. What does that mean? Perhaps the 2028 run for president. We shall see.
Wow. Hey, also the Detroit mayoral race, what's going on with that?
Well, you have, 7 candidates who are all vying for the spot right now. Some familiar faces that you know about. Of course, this is right there. Last night, right about 5:30, the MAHA Policy Conference, Chief James Craig, Santil Jenkins, and others were all there to basically make their case, not just to Detroiters. You know, Rob, what's interesting? This is Mr. Fred Durhal, a council person. So many people said they liked his plan because it was about empowering Detroiters. This isn't my city as the mayor. What do you want done? How do you want it done? That's what Fred Durhal was talking about. These folks were not there just talking to Detroiters. They were talking to stakeholders in the entire state and the country. That's what makes the MAHA Policy Conference so different. There's Councilwoman Mary Sheffield and Santil Jenkins talking as well. There was no clear winner necessarily, and there were no fireworks yesterday, but simply ideas about how they plan to move Detroit forward to help the state.
And all these elections are going to happen in November, right?
Yeah, so you got the the mayoral election that's coming up, and then on top of that, you have the gubernatorial race following that. So many of these races.
Is that this year too?
We have a 2026.
Okay,
Yeah, so we got some time.
So the mayor this year and then the governor next year.
2026 is going to be a big political year for anyone who wants to run for office. And of course, as we say, I talked to Gary Peters, the senator. He was having breakfast this morning as I was leaving, and I wished him well. And he says, hey, I have a year and a half left. I'm not done yet. But in a year and a half, we're going to have a new senator. Will it be a Republican? Will it be a Democrat? That's up to everyone on the other side of that camera.
Yeah. Hey, all right. You ready for the question? You ready for the question? This has nothing to do with politics.
Aren't you out of time? You probably need to wrap or something.
You know
don't
what?
have time for the question.
I don't listen to the producers. I do that. I go as long as I want to go. All right. So here's the deal. We were talking earlier about the Detroit Grand Prix.
Tom's laughing over here.
Okay.
This isn't a good sign.
Come on. We're talking about the Detroit Grand Prix. Okay.
I got to be on at 5 o'clock on TV, so let's do it.
Okay.
Chop.
With the Detroit Grand Prix. Right. And I said, I was tweeting something out from it. And I was like, is it Grand Prix, like Gran, Grand Prix, right? Meaning French, kind of. Or is it Grand Prix? Well, it's apparently Grand Prix.
Totally, yeah.
But shouldn't it be Grand Prix?
No, because that's the proper name, and it's been that way for this many years, forever. I mean, are certain pronunciations of words and titles are incorrect, but they just are kind of assumed into the vernacular because it's what we do, right? I mean, we make all kinds of people called Myers for a long time. It's Meyer. Ford's, Kroger's. This is what we do in Michigan.
Okay, but Prix is that a French word? Grand.
I would imagine it's a French
Prix,
word.
right?
Yeah.
It's a race, right?
Yeah, it is.
So I thought that. So I was just trying.
You
to
were going Grand Prix.
The Grand Prix. It's the Grand Prix.
But no one ever says it like it's a fancy French thing. They say it like it's the Grand Prix. It's Detroit. It's Engine.
I got a Grand Prix.
Very classy man. You get
the Grand Prix.
Glass of Chardonnay with his pinky sticking out as he drinks it. What else are you doing?
Whatever. Okay, so
Grand Prix.
So, anyways, you gave a good answer, Rup. I mean, you should be impressed because you should be complimented because I said, who will know Rup?
That's so nice of you, man.
Yeah, Mr. Big Stuff, the smart guy. He's hanging out with all those politicians, man.
Yeah, if you only knew me in college, you wouldn't be saying any of this. But yeah, thank you.
Well, thank you, Rup, and we look forward to the Pulse. So you're back on tonight?
Back on tonight. Always good to be with you, Rob. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Rup.
Have a good weekend.
The White House acknowledging problems in Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy's Make America Healthy Again report. Fox News' Ted Linder has those details.
MAHA's become hot. But now MAHA is landing in some hot water. It stands for Make America Healthy Again, a Trump administration commission chaired by Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
We've built an unstoppable coalition.
Last week, President Trump and Secretary Kennedy released the first Make America Healthy Again report. It's a document spearheaded by Kennedy that outlines health issues the administration wants to address, including rising rates of childhood illnesses, vaccine schedules, pesticide use, and more.
Over the next 80 days, the commission will build on its work in this report to develop a roadmap to bold and transformative public health reforms.
But on Thursday, the White House said it's working to fix errors in the report. According to an investigation by news organization Notice, out of more than 500 studies cited in the report, 7 did not appear to have ever been published.
I understand there were some formatting issues with the MAHA report that are being addressed, and the report will be updated, but it does not negate the substance of the report, which, as you know, is one of the most transformative health reports that has ever been released by the federal government and is backed on good science that has never been recognized by the federal government.
Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says the development hasn't shaken the White House's faith in Kennedy.
We have complete confidence in Secretary Kennedy and his team at HHS.
The MAHA report is meant to help the Trump administration develop future policy recommendations. Ted Lindner, Fox 2 News.
Same prescription, let's try that again. Same prescription drug, but very different prices. That's the finding in a report on hospitals in Michigan. Now listen to this story because I read this earlier. The Michigan Health Purchasers Coalition took a look at several fairly common drugs. Humira is a drug used to treat autoimmune diseases. At the Henry Ford Health Hospital in Rochester, one dose costs more than $2,700. That same drug, same dose, same Henry Ford Health System in Jackson, it costs nearly $16,000. Across the Corewell Health System, you would pay more than $5,000 per dose in Royal Oak or Troy than you would in Grand Rapids. On GoodRx and the telehealth, or that's a telehealth site, Humira costs $550. The report looked at prices at 53 Michigan hospitals, and all I can say is...
That's crazy.
It's crazy. It is crazy. All right, so we're going to go to some taped weather now. So here is Derek with the weather.
No, we're going to do HealthWorks.
We're going to do HealthWorks. Let's do HealthWorks. I don't want taped weather. Let's go to Dina. Come on, Dina, let's go.
Here's a question for you. Do you have a guilty reality TV pleasure? You might think reality TV is a recent phenomenon, but actually it started with a hidden camera show in the late 1940s. Now, as the genre has evolved and brings us a wide range of content, one thing is still clear. There is something about reality TV that fascinates us.
We didn't think anyone would be into watching a show about our crazy family.
Yes, the Kardashians were one of the families that brought us this particular brand of reality TV, but no matter what you're watching, from singing to cooking to finding love, these reality shows keep us coming back for more. Why?
It's another form of escape. Like, we watch movies to escape, we watch true crime to escape. This is not just another genre of TV that we can use to escape. And so it helps us envision what life would be like if we were in those situations.
Cleveland Clinic psychologist Shavonna Child says watching a reality show can be like going on a mini vacation. It allows us to take a break from our own problems and see what's happening in someone else's life, just like eating your favorite foods. Dr. Child says that watching your go-to reality show can light up the brain's reward system. But whether you're eating cake or watching somebody make a cake on reality TV, we want to avoid overindulging. Dr. Childs explains it's important to take breaks from all the drama and conflict that's packed into these shows.
Know your limits. If it's becoming too heavy, if you're feeling triggered, it is time to watch something else. Turn to something lighter, turn to something fictional. Reality shows can get to be too much depending on which reality shows we're watching.
No matter what you're tuning into, whether it makes you feel good or makes you feel bad about your life, Dr. Child says setting screen time limits in general is a good idea. So that gives us time for activities that are more beneficial to our mental health, like pursuing a hobby, spending time with loved ones, in real life. That's HealthWorks. I'm Dina Centofanti.
And turning now to weather, let's check in with Derek Kebra.
The weekend does look pretty good, but we do have a few things to contend with, and the first one is an air quality alert that is affecting pretty much the entire state of Michigan as we move through the afternoon. So let's take a look at that and talk a little bit about where we are expected to, what we're expected to see with this air quality alert. Goes till 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. That is Saturday morning. If you are somebody who typically suffers when the air quality gets bad, whether it is a ozone alert or in this case from the wildfire smoke up in Canada, but today might be one of those days, especially as we move more into those later afternoon, early evening hours, that we could potentially be dealing with some of that unhealthy air. So unhealthy for people with heart disease, older adults, children, to try to limit those outdoor activities as that smoke continues to push in from the north. That is from Canada, by the way up near like Manitoba, Saskatchewan. That's where all that smoke is coming from as those fires continue to burn. And we'll probably see more of that as we move through the summer, but as far as how long it will impact us, probably just through the day on Friday with better air quality as we move into Saturday and Sunday. Okay, temperatures are going to start to drop, though, as we move into the weekend, because we do have a cold front that's going to come through tonight. That cold front's going to bring another chance for some showers and thunderstorms, and you may be sitting there going, another chance for rain? Feels like it's rained all month. Well, you know, you're not wrong. Now, we've had some pretty long stretches where it does seem like it's rained. Early in the month, it rained 4 days in a row. We had a nice 3-day stretch in here, the middle of the month, and then followed by 3 more days. So for the month as a whole, about every other day it's rained, about 50% of the month. And today's going to be one of those days where we do get another chance of it, and it's going to notably happen in those evening hours, 7, 8, 9 o'clock. You see those rain chances begin to jump up into that 24% chance, and then they start falling off after that. So rain kind of tapers off, comes to an end as we do move overnight. Temperatures warming up into the 70s. We do have a nice day out there for us. Still a bit of a breeze, so I would say comfortable for a lot of different locations as we see that high near 77 degrees. 67 on Saturday. By Sunday, we'll go 72, mostly sunny skies. Saturday will be a little bit cooler. The reason for that is because that wind is going to be blowing around 10 to 20 miles per hour. So at the 60s, that's a cool breeze. So just keep that in mind. 77 degrees out there for today. There's the rain off to the north, and these rain showers are going to drop down. So that is what's going to bring us that chance for some rain as we move into the evening. Again, 7, 8, 9 o'clock. That's our best opportunity to see those rain showers as the skies get a little bit cloudier moving in. It could also be a rumble of thunder. That is not out of the question. Saturday, Sunday, we'll see that cooler weather before that summer heat comes in full effect into next week. A couple of days in the upper 80s.
All right, and while the Grand Prix is the main event this weekend, there are some other things to check out. The world's largest traveling car show roaring into Taylor tomorrow. We're talking the Hot Wheels Legends Tour. Classic car builders will be showing off their craftsmanship on 4 wheels. Hot Wheels designers and celebrity judges will be there to check them out and pick a winner. That winner will compete in the national show to have their car turned into a Hot Wheels die-cast. If you want to see them, they'll be in the Walmart parking lot on Telegraph Road from 8 a.m. until noon. I think I saw one of those in our parking lot for the morning show this morning when I drove in. It was pretty cool. The 15th annual Ferndale Pride Street Festival is happening tomorrow. It kicks off at 12:30 with an opening ceremony, followed by a day packed with live music, food, and more than 200 vendors, plus tons of food. Wow, look at that. The festival is on West 9 Mile Road between Woodward and Livernois. There's no admission fee. And finally, Palmer Park in Detroit is hosting its annual art fair. The event runs tomorrow and Sunday. More than 100 artists will have their works on display. Plus, there's live music, food, and the historic log cabin to check out. Admission and parking are both free. Much more news on the other side of this break. Stay with us. Hey, if you're feeling like staying in and catching a show or movie this weekend, but aren't quite sure what to watch, our Lee Thomas can help. Here's his pick of the week.
Time now for Critic Lee's Pick of the Week, and my pick this week is a movie called Mountainhead. You'll find this movie on HBO Max, now that they changed their name from Max to HBO Max. That's where you'll find it streaming. And this movie is about 4 tech billionaires that have a boys' weekend at one of their estates. And right before one of them goes there, the richest one of them all, worth $220 billion with a B, he launches a new AI component to his social media site that enables you to create whatever you want with AI. So governments hop in, start creating deep fakes that trick other governments into attacking each other, and the world descends into chaos. While these 4 billionaires are having a weekend retreat, drinking, smoking, and talking about world events in a way that is so nonchalant, ghostlighting, scary, that it is an interesting watch about what could be. This is fictitious, obviously, but what could be. Now, this film stars 3 great actors. One of them is Steve Carell is one. The other is Corey Michael Smith, Jason Schwartzman, and Rami Youssef. They all play 4 different guys, 4 different billionaires at 4 different levels of income, and that's how they kind of sort each other out, and how they poke fun at each other about money, about the ramifications of social unrest and unrest around the world, how they control governments with their social media companies. It's called Mountainhead, written by the same guy who created the show Succession, so he knows about writing about big money. I highly recommend this one. It was a fun watch, a little scary, gets a little ridiculous, but it's definitely my pick of the week. It's called Mountainhead, and you'll find it on HBO Max. That, my friends, is Critic Lee's Pick of the Week.
Thank you, Lee. Beyonce made one New Jersey couple's dream come true by announcing the gender of their baby on stage during a recent concert. The singer saw a sign from the fans asking her to read the gender reveal and opened the envelope towards the end of the show, announcing they are having a boy. Beyonce did a gender reveal for another fan during her 2023 Renaissance World Tour. You know, maybe we could do that right here on the Fox live stream.
Gender reveals?
Yeah, a gender reveal. You know, what do you think, Tom? That's pretty exciting.
That's a great idea.
That would get the viewership way up.
That would get us
way up. Hey, thanks for joining us here on Fox 2 Detroit Live. The news is on next. Have a great weekend. Bye.